think. Wait, talk.
Yep. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
All right. Welcome to Tuesday Night Curling at Nutmeg Curling Club. We're
Woohoo!
we're picking up the action already in progress because we got here a little late. Uh, this is
A woman's
the
gotta eat.
oh yeah. This is the B division of our Tuesday Night Competitive League in the 7 o'clock draw. 3 games, all just starting the third end. On sheet A, it looks like Nada Leslie's team is up 2-0 against Mark Zakin. Sheet B is a 2-2 tie between Team Muldowney and Team Miller. And on sheet C, it is 4-0 in favor of Team Lineker, looks like, with the Yellow Rocks. So there you go, all caught up. I guess we'll do a little, we'll go around the horn a bit to start, but based on the early scores, could be sheet B, our feature matchup for the evening.
Yeah, we'll see. And for
Yeah.
those of you who may not know that we're the people who are usually broadcasting here on Tuesday, I'm Kelly Jensen Sembos here with Ed Simia, and we're excited to have all two of you. Hi,
That was
Larry.
Tyler, yeah, that was quick. Whoever jumped on, way to go, way to see that notification, and decide you wanted to watch.
And why wouldn't you? Truly.
Right, it's quality curling. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
By now, if you've been watching every week, you probably have your own favorite teams and players. You've ordered some merchandise. You own the jersey. You got to see how they do. Your Nutmeg Curling Club fantasy team. You got to keep up to date on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds horrifying, but
yeah, it does.
But yeah, if there's anybody that you want to see, please chime in on our live chat.
Sure. Giuseppe
Giuseppe.
Russo, hey, welcome to the broadcast. We'll definitely have some coverage of your game there on C, like we said. If you jumped in after we announced the early scores, looks like Team Lineker is up to an early 4-0 lead. Giuseppe's part of Team Lineker.
Mm-hmm.
They have 5, and I suppose it's his night off.
Giuseppe often is on the road, so not surprised to hear that.
All right, fair enough. All right, why don't we look at what's going on here on sheet B? Looks like nothing in play there yet. Well, we got some guards, nothing in the house, but Team Miller coming in here around this corner guard, gonna sail a bit deep.
Looks like it's
And just out of the house. In play in the back there. Something to trip on. Something to jam on there. You can definitely freeze on it and be in the house.
Yeah.
Diane's going to try to bump up her red here on the center line. Playing to... She can do 2 good things here, because if you bump yours into play and get rid of the center guard, you're pretty happy with the hammer.
Yeah. Possibly bump it under a little bit of cover, too.
That'd be nice. It's close on the weight. Okay. Got it on the rings and got rid of that center guard. It is open for Team Miller to play the hit, and I'm guessing he will. That's the call.
Right, Craig Steffen. Looking to take this rock out. Possibly roll back towards the center.
That'd be nice.
That'd be great, Sweepers are on it most of the way.
Looks like it's sailing by that outside rock. Really just didn't get there on the weight. It's still early in the game. If you haven't thrown that line, you may have tried to throw like board weight or something and just come up with back house weight instead. Or back line. Well, now Diane has a chance to sit too and set up a nice end with the hammer.
Yeah. And sweepers are on this most of the way, but looks like it could get there.
I think worst case it's going to be a guard, so that's that'll guard the shot rock very well. this past weekend we played in the Golden Handle here, and definitely the ice was running pretty straight, and I think some of these outside lines that haven't been played as much still are running pretty straight. And that one, I mean, she had the broom maybe just on the outside edge of the red rock, and it only curled to maybe the inside half of the red rock. I mean, it curled maybe a foot, if that.
Yeah, we did notice rocks that going out didn't tend to curl back into the center of the sheet, so guess that's still happening. What sheet are we playing on?
I'm not sure. Good question. We can look that up if you want.
Yeah, we have the technology.
Yeah. Team Miller coming up short again here. And gives Diane another chance to try to get a second rock in play. Or in the house, I should say. Set her 2. Actually, a chance for a big end if she can get another one buried here.
Yeah.
Over on sheet C, just if I take a look at the far house, looks like Team Allward's sitting 3 right now. Good chance for them to get back in the game over there on the right side of your screen. Whereas on sheet A, earlier in the end it looked like Nada had a couple of rocks that were right in the 4-foot. That's been taken care of a bit by Team Zakin, but Team Leslie still sitting 2, so not too much danger yet of giving up a big end. Diane's rock also, well, Diane's team, Team Muldowney, their rock came up short.
We'll be playing on sheet B.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah,
right in the middle of the action. One of our players for tonight is already out there playing.
Unfortunately on sheet C, so he can't tell us all the secrets.
That's true. We have our lead, Eric Sebastian, is unfortunately ill. So
Eric, if you're listening, we hope you feel better soon.
We certainly miss you. And so Mr. Rick Moore is filling in for us tonight, from what I've heard.
That's what I heard, too.
That's the rumor.
Word on the street.
Kind of interested in what's going on here in sheet C. If we look at that far C house, hit and roll out for Team Leneker leaves. Team Allward's still sitting 3. I think that one in the back is pretty much definitely on the rings. So it could be a big end brewing over there.
It's interesting because our in-house monitor, you can't even see that rock.
Oh, it's just off. You can't see the last like inch or 2 of the back of the house, and that's exactly where that rock is. Looks like we're starting skip rocks on sheet B with Jack now actually sitting 1 after his first skip rock. We have Diane coming up to throw her first. Jack pretty well buried back there. I missed how that happened while I was watching the action on C.
It was a I guess it must have been a double promote.
Wow.
Yeah, because one of the rocks rolled away.
Gotcha. No, rocks away from Diane now. Diane Muldowney, I should say. Not everyone who's watching would know who I meant, necessarily. Looks like she sort of she caught the guard, ran it back into the yellow that was already in the house, did remove the shot rock, but left a new rock now on the top 4, so no harm, not much harm done, but no gain from that either.
No.
Now Miller, I imagine, will try to guard that and steal a point.
Yeah.
Believe Joel's trying to play a freeze or a soft tap here on C. He does make the tap and pushes the red rock just out of the house. So he'll be lying 1 for the moment, but it is wide open for Alan Allward's first shot. Jack motioning for just a little bit less ice after seeing how some of these rocks have curled, or I should say have not curled this end from what we've seen. Guard looks like it's online. If anything, it might be over curling a touch.
Yeah.
But I think it'll
Might get a little wick off that. Oh.
That came up nice at the end.
Yeah.
So Diane's going to need to get into the forefoot to get her 1, and the easiest path to that might actually be the long run back on the red.
Yeah.
The nice thing is there's almost nothing behind it that you could knock in, so while it's a very difficult shot, if you miss it, you're probably only giving up 1 anyway and holding on to the hammer, so keep a very balanced game if you just give up 1 and have the hammer down 1 going into the 4th.
Yeah, get that even an advantage.
Absolutely. I talked a little bit about that over the weekend on our broadcasts for the Golden Handle. We've seen the numbers that early in the game it doesn't matter too much. It does start to matter around like the 6th end. If you have the hammer in the 6th in a tie game, you start to get a little bit more of an edge.
Yes.
Obviously, having it in the last end in a tie game, a big edge.
Or I guess an extra end would also still be the last end of a tie game.
That is true. And the existence of the extra end is, I think, why the early in the game the even end thing isn't as important, because you could very easily end up with the last, keep tying the game in the odd ends, or keep taking the lead in the odd ends. They tie it back up in the even ends, and you win in the 9th. Shots away from Diane. I think it's just a bit narrow, and this could be bad because deflection in is going to lead to a steal of 2 there, as that rock will stop on the back 4, so it's going to be a steal of 2 for Team Miller. There was a runaway rock that ran out to C at C. Luckily, not while a shot was in progress on C, so it was easily fixed, but always a dangerous situation when rocks collide.
Yeah, interesting to say what I guess it's whose call is it if a rock from a different sheet comes over and interrupts a rock on you? Is that
I think it's technically the owner of the rock, but the 2 skips should really agree at that point on where the rock goes. You're still the sort of aggrieved skip if it was your rock and it was off the sheet that affected it. So you should be the one, if it's your rock, to put it back. Although I would say I think you also want to be maybe a little more cognizant that you're not doing something that gives you an advantage. Like if the other team kicks your rock and you put it 1 inch to a better place to you by mistake, or you're not sure, you can kind of err in the side that's good for you. If it's something that happened from off the sheet, you should probably consult with everyone to get it as right as possible. All right, I'll stick on this view until we see the end of the final rock here on C. A chance to get back in the game for Alan Allward. Yellow is sitting 1. Red is 2nd. Yellow is 3rd. But there's definitely a double there, which could be for 4, and just a straight hit would get him 2. Looks like it's hanging just a bit wide, and hit and roll out for... It'll still be... Looks like on our monitors it's still 1 red. Devices will take a look at that, but yeah, no measure or anything. Un rojo it is. And we'll watch some of the early action on the 4th ends here, as that'll make the score on sheet C. Team Lineker 4, Team Allward 1. 4-2 game on sheet B with Team Muldowney down a couple points, but with the hammer. And on A, Zakin did end up taking 1. Zakin did end up taking 1 to make it a 2-1 game, but Team Leslie with the hammer up 1 there. Scott Funston says pretty much definitely. That might have been my call on who was counting. Pretty much definitely. So did you have a good time at the Golden Handle this weekend?
Yeah, it was great. We had a lot of fun. More fun after we got out of the round robin. But yeah, it was nice to see some folks from last year. Again, it's nice to start to develop a curling memory. Hey.
Sure, yeah. Well, that's true. You haven't played that many away from the club yet, so many spiels away from the club yet. So you don't know that many of the local or regional curlers.
Regional celebrities, luminaries.
The luminaries, wow.
Uh-huh. Put some faces with some names.
Yeah, you start to recognize just about everyone after a while. It's a pretty small community. So,
curling?
Yeah, especially regional northeastern United States curling, yeah. Not super small, but small enough, especially when you're talking about people who bonspiel. People who bonspiel and like, especially when you're like, well, you're still finished. Is your 5th year, right?
Yep.
So that like the 5 and under crowd, it tends to be the same people over and over again. If you play those, so you get to know people through that very easily. Pretty quiet warm room tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got John Corelli silently screaming.
Eating some M&Ms and yeah. Yeah. Just the 3 of us in here watching some curling. I think John was probably thinking about possibly getting into the 7 o'clock draw when he got here. Yeah, that was, for those that you couldn't see at home, that was pretty much an admission of truth. Yeah. All right.
Professional sub, John Corelli.
Oh, man. All right. Definitely a few rocks in play here on B on our feature sheet. Team Muldowney's sitting one, but wide open in the center of the ice, and Team Miller plays the hit and rolls to the corner of the sheet. Looks like Diane will ignore that and try to draw around something to sit one. We were having a conversation before about potential and ends. Well, this is an end where the team with the hammer definitely has potential for scoring. They've got 2 corner guards. That yellow rock that's in the house is unlikely to outcount things if you make good shots. So, yeah. Definitely opportunities to score here for the hammer team with the red rocks. 7 viewers now.
Wow.
We are a popular bunch. I thought this might be a potential call too. Looks like Diane's playing a little tap here. And does put her rock on the rings. Could be a potential counter later. The only problem with there, unfortunately, is that it's on the rings right in front of the yellow rock. So it makes it a little tougher to get rid of that yellow if you want that red to count later. But there's ways of doing it. You could always tap it back or something later on. So what are you working on here in the warm room?
Oh, I'm just knitting a sweater.
Ah, that's what's going on. Yeah, I was wondering exactly what project this was. That we're
something I'm trying to finish before Iceland because I'm very afraid that I'm going to be cold there.
Yeah, it's a cold place. Not sure if that yellow rock is barely on the rings or not. Diane's not going to worry too much about that, though. She's trying to draw in again, and her red rock is definitely still second shot at under any circumstances. So come behind that red junk on the right side of your screen as you're watching from home, and sit one, and then you'll set up your deuce that way.
This looks like she might be playing a bit of a hit because it's got quite a bit of weight.
Could be a hit and roll maybe she was going for.
I know.
Maybe just a little heavier than she wanted.
Yeah.
definitely has 2 rocks on the rings now, but they are 3rd and 4th. That red rock she left there in the top that's just biting, the one that was just thrown, even it did push that yellow all the way to the back of the house where it's less dangerous. And that can definitely be split or tapped on. That's a pretty good rock for red. Over on, oh, very nice. Kelly's showing me her her sweater, and it's definitely a work that is almost complete. It's in progress, but nearing completion. It looks like.
Nearing completion, yeah.
Over on sheet A, we have Team Leslie sitting 2, fairly split, but at an angle where Mark Zakin's going to try a double on his next shot and try to remove both. Fairly clean house on C. There are guards up, but not too much in the house itself yet. Looks like Joel's sitting 1 and going to have Rick Moore draw in a second, maybe play a little split there. But Diane now looking at 3 yellow rocks in the house here, is electing to hit the one that's on the button. In a close game, this makes a lot of sense. Got to get rid of. Don't want to let this end get out of control.
Yeah.
Looks like this hits right on target. Might even get a nice roll behind a guard.
Yeah.
Not bad. It's at least partially covered. It's just a touch covered. The guard's definitely in play, but the rock's probably 95% open.
Yeah.
Mark looks like he flashed on the double attempt, which means with the hammer, Nada now already sitting 2 and can sit a 3rd rock and make it very tough to stop her from getting at least 2 and potentially 3 or more. All right, Jack's actually getting down there to throw his first rock of the 4th end here. Pretty big shot in this end if he ever was to crash on the guard or something. Well, for 2 reasons. One, he would leave a counting rock for Diane, obviously, but also, if you crash on that guard, you're probably driving it into a rock that's already in the house, and they could easily be, Diane could easily be sitting 2, and it be her turn to throw on her next rock if you miss this. So, definitely the pro side misses. Usually it's to peel the guard. In this case, I think it's flashing is better than catching a piece of that guard.
Yeah, sweepers are on it right away, so looks like he is a little narrow and...
Looks like they're holding it. No,
nope. Oh dear.
Well, where's that going to go? Yep, sure enough. Right into count 2.
Oh, get that.
Gotta watch those rogue rocks as they travel around the ice.
Apparently, sheet B rocks are looking to defect to sheet C. We'll have to watch out for that tonight.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we'll have to give them a talking to, let them know that we're watching them.
Or just watch them.
Or just watch them ourselves. Are you saying they're not sentient? That would be a big news story. The sentient rocks now at Nutmeg Curling Club. They know when they're hitting each other, and they don't like it. That was a big turnaround in this end, because now Diane can throw another one in or even guard her rock with a tight guard, especially on our ice without a lot of curl right now. And
yeah, I think based on what I saw of the conversation, I think that's the call.
Guard. Yeah, I'm not knowing Diane, I'm not surprised by that call, and I think here that makes plenty of sense because you already are sitting 2. You're protecting your deuce, and you can just draw for 3 on your last one, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're, both yellow rocks are in the 12 foot. I don't think either of them are. Oh, maybe just touching 8.
Yeah, she'll have plenty of room to draw though on her last shot. Looks like Nada came up a bit short trying to draw for to sit 3, but which means Mark will have I don't know if he'll have another shot at the double. That guard might be covering enough of that. I'm just curious looking at that near C house. Looks like the guard's over curling for Diane, unfortunately. Leaving shot rock open. On sorry, that's C. On A, yeah, the double's probably not there, at least not with enough weight, because they're almost, the guard is edge to edge with that rock, but Mark can certainly make a hit and then
Possibly
avoid.
roll under that center guard too.
It's not impossible, and definitely could like avoid giving up more than 2 if you hit it. And
Yeah.
just that's gonna roll out. So Nate'll have a draw for 2 over there, but the way the end was shaping up, even 2 actually is not really a terrible result for Mark. Score-wise, he won't be happy because he's already down 1, and that'll let Neda put some gap between them. But all right, Jack's trying to make this hit again. Now, if he hits and stays open, Diane will still have a very makeable shot for 2. It'll be just an open hit. If he can get under a guard, that could give him an excellent chance of stealing here.
Oh. It's interesting that he decided to throw the intern on that.
Yeah,
but I guess
just
it works.
Gets a piece. Neda came up short on her draw, meaning she'll take 1 here in the fourth end, making it 3-1 Team Leslie. Given the way that end was shaping up, like we're saying, I'm sure Mark is very happy with that result. Definitely keeps them very much in the game and in a situation where it looked like things could get out of control.
Yeah,
so
he hit against 3 in the third, so he's been making shots at the end to stay out of the real hot water.
Yeah. So here on the on sheet B, we have Diane coming down to take her final shot, sitting 1. Can draw for 2. I'm not sure if, with the line they're giving, if maybe she's looking at trying some sort of split here to put 3 into play. It would be pretty tough to get them both on to count, but could also just be a line for a draw with a tap as like a backup option.
Yeah.
Everyone must have got here a little early tonight because everyone's doing wonderfully on time. They're all finishing up the fourth end well before, like several minutes before 8 o'clock. Rocks away from Diane. Sweepers are on it.
Yeah, looks a
Weight
little
looks
wide.
close, but it may not have enough to tap. It may have been just enough if it was getting there on its own. No, just short the whole way, I guess. So Diane will take 1, makes it a 4-3 game. Certainly still competitive, but probably a little disappointed not to get a deuce there. It was setting up nicely for her.
Yeah.
Joel's sitting 3 here on sheet C, and with the hammer up 3 already. This could be an end where he really puts things away. But if we look at that near C house here, there are opportunities for Alan to get ahead of the end and even set up a steal because he can play a double off the outside yellow and be sitting 1 under cover. Or even hit and roll if he comes a little underneath the yellow that's on the top 4 right now. So big shot here. We'll stick with this. I was going to take a 4th end break after this after this shot. There is no actual 4th end break in this league.
It's just a 4th end break for the announcers.
Absolutely.
Working hard out here.
We deserved it. We have to take a 4th end break because Kelly hasn't seen the do the curl video yet.
I'm required alcohol before I was.
I think that's a fair.
Based on what I've heard.
You know.
So after this shot, we'll
take a quick break.
Yeah. Well, after the shot and Joel's shot, we can.
Yeah, and I'll flip the camera so people can see what's going on in the far houses after that.
And if you would like to join us in spirit while we watch the do the curl video, we can put a link up in the description, maybe?
I might be able to do that. Yeah, no, maybe at the end of the, I can. What was I going to say? Thank you, Scott, for pointing something out for me. that the Golden Handle logo is still the default like thumbnail for the videos. So I never changed that, which was a mistake on my part. I'll fix it before our next stream, Scott. Thanks, though.
Wow, and Alan's Rock comes up just a little short to be counting, but it's half buried, so I think Joel can still get to it.
Yeah, not a bad effort at all, but it is showing at least like a skinny half.
Skinny half?
And if you get to it, you're not likely to dead jam it. I mean, now this works too. He can always play this where he's looking at play the tap back the front yellow, run it into the red and remove it. You can also play like hack weight, and even if you get half of that red rock, the worst thing you'd do is maybe you'd somehow lose your back yellow with the red, but you wouldn't keep the red. I mean, you'd have to hit the red pretty thin to, if you throw any like hit weight at it, to not remove it or to dead jam it. And he's looking at that now. If it gets close, if he gets close to the guard, he'd be good. Big shot in the game here. Yeah. Joel can really put the game away if he makes this. He's already up 4-1. But a miss and a force, and Alan's still in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet, please. Yeah, not the same warm room atmosphere as we had this weekend. It's early on a league night, so everyone who's here is out on the ice except for, like I said, 3 of us in here who are curling addicts.
Bar tabs? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All right, Joel's shot is away. Sweepers are on it. And off.
On off. It's very close to that guard. I think they had to go.
Yeah, I think it's on the guard.
Just catches a piece of the guard. Oh,
all right.
Tough break. We'll still be 1 for Joel as we finish the 4th end. I'll give him a 5-1 lead. Gives the hammer back to Alan, who'll look for a big score here in 5 to get right back in the game. I'm going to leave it on the far houses for a moment so you guys can watch the action at home, and your commentators will be right back after
a message from our actual sponsors
of US curling, at least for the moment. A message from Cheetos for us, not a message for the broadcast, but yeah. Be right back. Oh, come on. Everybody's. All right, we just watched "Teach Me How to Curl," the Cheetos curling song. You're gonna want to find that on YouTube. It's quite the video.
I have to say that I suddenly have an increased desire to curl and also eat Cheetos.
Sponsorship working.
Cheetos. Sorry, I didn't realize we were live again.
Hashtag do the curl. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Back to actual curling. So our game on B here looks like Jack Miller is sitting 2 and throwing his final Vice Rock. Craig Steffen throwing to kind of sit 3. I think this is sort of a draw / tap from what I saw. Could also end up being a guard. And
yep, supers are going hard. I'm not sure it's going to be
I don't think
more than a guard, so.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted a guard. Putting a guard on the center line when you have the hammer in the lead is a little dangerous, but it does protect a shot rock, so it's not all bad. Nothing in the house on A.
No.
And we are down to the skip's final rocks.
Interesting to see the 5 red rocks kind of
spread
out and 2 yellow rocks just
huddling in the corner together. Yeah, well, it's cold out on the ice.
It is, yeah.
Good to have a buddy out there.
Looks like they're being run out of town by the Red Rocks.
We're adding a lot of narrative to these guards.
Well, there's sentiment, so.
All right, Diane's throwing her first rock without hammer here. I don't know for sure what the call is, but based on the broom, maybe a hit and roll off the outside one, outside yellow. They do curl a bit off the center line, so I wouldn't be surprised at all. And yeah, on A, Nada did not get a rock in the house. So there's a good chance that Mark will blank here. Especially given that he's down 2 in the 5th. So even if once in a while club skips may opt to take the 1, everything kind of points to blanking here because he's down by a couple points, and he'd be holding the hammer for the 6th, as we were saying, where it starts to actually that even end strategy does start to have some impact, because he would definitely like to get 2 hammers if he's down 2 now before the end of the game. And yeah, he's throwing it right through there for the blank. Diane's rock just didn't quite curl up as much as she was hoping, and maybe sailed like an inch past the yellow on the right side of the house. So Jack's still sitting 2 to throwing his first skip rock coming up. So we go to the 6th on sheet A with in a low-scoring game. It's still.
The Deuce God has not smiled upon sheet A this game.
The Deuce God? Yes, we have not seen the Deuce God at all on sheet A. 3-1 score, all singles. Jack Miller settling into the hack here. Team Lineker doing a good job of preventing Alan Allward from setting up any sort of big end here. They now have 2 rocks, both behind cover, splitting the house, and even though they don't have the hammer, that is going to make it tough for Alan to generate too much, although he thinks he can get to this yellow rock on the right side. There is a hole there. Pretty tight port, but it's not impossible. For Bob Baroni, who we saw plenty of this weekend at the Golden Handle, he was Actually, a lot of the people who are out there now were playing at the Golden Handle.
Yeah.
Mark Zakin's entire team, half of Jack's team,
Half of Joel or Alan's team.
half of Alan's team. Yeah.
I
Just
think
catches
all
it
of Nada's team as well, just on different teams.
on different
Well,
teams. I think you're right. Yeah. So just take a look at that shot on C. Alan's vice Bob Roy did clip a guard and rolled in, but he rolled the third shot and it is open. So Joel will be happy to remove that and keep things clean and put a little more pressure on Alan's last shot when it comes up. If he can be sitting 3 or 4, that'll make it sort of a do or die shot for Alan to stay in the game. Jack's still sitting 2 here on B, and Diane once again looking to make that hit and roll, this time coming from the outside of the sheet. As a righty, going to throw her out turn. I have to think about that every time.
Yeah.
Oh, miss on C there. A half miss anyway. Hit the red rock, but drove it right into one of the yellows. Left the red rock now sitting second shot.
Yeah.
Diane makes her hit. Does not roll the shot, meaning Jack's sitting 1 and has the final rock, his hammer coming up. Does limit the damage to a maximum of 2. So there is benefit to that. And it's not even a very simple 2, because if we look at that far B house, you can't just nose that red and sit 2.
Yeah.
You do have to make somewhat of a roll, and that yellow guard might be a little bit in the way of that hit and roll. At least making it a little tougher. You can't, you know. So it'll be interesting to see here. Not an easy shot for his deuce, but also one without any risk, really. He's either going to get 1 or 2.
It's one of the nice things about sitting shot when your
Yeah.
last rock is being
Always a very relaxing feeling when you are already counting points and you're throwing the last rock. All right, Jack into his slide, rocks away. He threw a lot of weight at that.
Yeah. Supers are on it, and they're off it.
On off, they're watching it. And looks a little outside to me. I think he's just going to hit and roll out and get his 1. Okay, well, 1 point for Jack Miller makes the score 5-3 heading to the 6th. Definitely a very competitive game out there on B.
Yeah. Looking at Joel's first rock here on C.
Yeah, things have definitely turned around on C, where Alan's sitting shot now, 1st and 3rd. Oh, Joel threw pretty downwind, but looks like he's right on this. Going to catch the inside of the rocket, push it out, and maybe roll under guard. If not under guard, at least to where there's backing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not an easy rock for Alan to get rid of and count, but he can make it. It's even possible to make a double. It's very flat.
Yeah.
The only thing is you wouldn't have to move that yellow rock more than the second yellow rock you'd hit. If you hit the one on the button and roll over and just nudge that other yellow rock a couple inches, you'll sit 2.
Yeah. Maybe not even a couple inches.
Yeah.
Maybe an inch.
Hey, Aaron.
Hi.
Hi. Media Center. Spelled the UK spelling, by the way. We have a little post-it note designated our area the Media Centre. Okay.
Still waiting for the construction of the official booth.
Yeah, we have a few upgrades that haven't been done yet that we've considered. In a recent
object.
In a recent email, one was getting maybe for next season, getting some on ice audio.
Yeah.
We don't mean miking players, because I know there are a couple codes that can be fun. It can also very much make some people very unhappy if they're being mic'd. But getting that ambient noise would add a lot of atmosphere to the broadcast, I think. It'd be cool. All right, Allen shots away. If this will curl up just a touch, he could get a hit and roll to the outside, but I think it might just nick this and... Oh, pushes it behind the guard. Does open up the forefoot if he has to make a draw at the end to the end, but leaves Joel sitting 1-2, and Joel may just try to guard up the draw, or it's possible to get to that yellow rock. He might want. I don't think he'll guard his shot rock though. I think he's just going to make the draw as hard as possible.
Yeah.
Or throw a third one in, like
Yeah.
top 8, which is effectively the same at this point in the end. So I'm looking over here at sheet A where Zakin has the hammer coming back down. They've gotten way ahead of the other games, or at least the game on C. Playing a little run back here, it looks like. Oh, just caught the guard. Nada sitting 1 right now with Mark does have second shot, so he may have been hoping if he could get that run back to go from Team Leslie sitting 1 to Team Zakin sitting 2, but alas, it was not to be. While we're waiting, I'll show some of the near house action. Since the other 2 games are coming back towards the warm room, you can see. We could definitely hear a vibrating phone. I was wondering what it was. It was none of our phones. It's a phone up against the glass on the ice.
A very catchy vibrato beat. Is that Do the Curl?
Is it?
It's Winter's hot new hit single, Do the Curl.
Oh yeah. I like the part where they showed off the Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
Ding.
That's an important part of most curling.
Curling videos. Yeah. Well, bling is a big part of curling, though, with the pins and whatnot.
Yeah. Mhm. There's lots of rocks and ice, you know.
There you are. That's true. Joel just now getting into the hack to throw his last rock on C. I can switch back there for the shot as it comes in. You just saw him leave the hack on your screen on the left side, and when we switch over to the house he's throwing to, that'll be on the right.
It's got the weight, and
they're just trying to hold the line, I think.
Yeah, looks like it's gonna
Now if he gets a little
guard.
tap here, this will work out nicely for him, because in the end he'll end up better guarding his shot rock.
Mhm.
And still making, maybe it takes an inch or 2 away of the draw that was there before. I think in any case, Allen now is just going to try to draw for 1.
Yeah.
He's got plenty of room to draw, but is up against 2 yellows, so kind of a clutch shot here to stay in the game, because he's already down 4, right? It's 5-1, yeah. All right, Allen's final shot away. Sweeper's on it for weight early. It may actually be a little outside from our view, which means it could be on this outside yellow guard. They're going to have to wait for it to come off of that. Nope, they're going all the way. They must need it for weight. It is just by the guard. It's coming into the house. And that is a beautiful draw from Allen Allward to get his point.
Wow, he just found that extra couple inches from his draw that came up a little bit short.
Yeah.
In the... Was that the second? Oh, that was the fourth.
Fourth, yeah.
Time goes by so slowly.
All right, let's go back to the near houses where the 6th ends in our other 2 games are well underway. There is a wall of rocks out there on A. Not easy to find a way through that mess to count, although Mark Zakin does have one line here on the left side of the sheet. And he has 2 rocks left. If he can get one buried, he could still set up a skip's deuce, as we like to call it. A lot of yellow rocks in play on sheet B.
Yeah. Hanging out around the center line.
Lawrence Beccari has made an appearance at the Nutmeg Curling Club, waving to his fans. And Larry, have we found our pins yet? For
Yeah, I have.
Excellent.
I have yours.
Oh, okay. Well.
This is still in New Hampshire.
Some of the golden handle pins were, or I think all the golden handle pins were on their way here and should have gotten here on time, but some combination of.
For those of you not geographically familiar with the area, Connecticut is right next to the state of Rhode Island, which is where the pins originated. Yet somehow, the pins were found in New Hampshire 2 days after they were supposed to be delivered to Connecticut. So.
Johnny boy, I got you 5. Oh wow! All right. So
Yeah, quite a odd circumstance for our pins.
Yes and no.
They're well traveled.
With the postal service, anything is truly possible.
That's true. You'll see here track a package. That thing will go all over the place, doing sort of concentric circles around its destination.
That's a champion's pin.
Oh, I am a Nutmeg Rat Race Champion 2017.
Woo!
Wow.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, some pretty nice pins you got there.
I'm glad they're beautifully engraved with the.
They are with the
This year?
title and year.
Yeah.
They have the year on Monday.
Mhm.
We did have a teammate who was very disappointed that there's no rat on the Rat Race pin.
A couple of teammates, myself.
Oh, I'm
included,
sorry. You were also
because-
very upset about the
Yeah.
lack of a rat.
The golden handle is nice, but there are very few rodents depicted on pins these days.
Yeah, not too many. Squirrels occasionally. But
Yeah. Boring.
Larry, I want to say something real quick. And I'm back. Did you miss me?
I did. But probably the people listening at home missed you more because I've been ignoring them and
You were pretty
concentrating
quiet
on
and
my
working
pin.
on your. Oh, you're working on your pin. Okay. All right. Yeah, well, guess I could wear my Rat Race pin tonight for.
Yeah, I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that. I just realized.
So I'm looking over here on A where there's just so much junk in front of the house now. And red's still sitting 1, but yellow is 2nd and 3rd and maybe 4th. That rock might be in the house on the bottom of your screen as you view. And Mark Zakin.
I'm just laughing because it's a hilarious looking situation.
Yeah, there are a lot of rocks out there.
I mean, there are 2 rocks not in play that have already been thrown.
So they're looking very similar to the Big Dipper out in front of the house.
Yeah.
Almost. You'd have to move one of the rocks. But
Let's see if this changes.
well, Mark's also looking to make a run back here, which could be for 3 or even 4. And it's pretty close. Did he get this?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. And it is out for 3 or 4. What a shot. That'll move the chains.
That'll move the chains. Do we have our instant replay?
I
on?
don't have the instant replay up tonight. Nope, not
okay.
running tonight. Sorry, can't
That's
re-show
fine.
that one. That one would have been one for the highlight reel. We could still always, if I have the end of the season highlight reel, I can go back and find that.
Yeah.
But,
If you want to.
yeah. You know, in any case, a big score of what I think was 4 for Team Zakin, maybe 3. Certainly puts him
what they've
in
been looking for.
excellent position now from what was looking like a game that might be getting away from him a little bit. Had he given up a steal there? So how you wearing that Rat Race pin over there?
Just making sure it's beautiful and even.
Excellent. Yeah, over the weekend we did lose our first 3 games and sent us into the 5th event. But we won our semi and our final, so we are rat race champion. It's my second rat race championship.
Oh, wow.
First as a skip. I won it as a vice once.
It's exciting. You're a rat.
So I have a golden handle, a little handle, and a rat now. A rat handle? I don't
A
think
rat.
that's a thing.
I wish it was.
Whoops, sorry. Let me.
It's so much easier to pick them up.
All right, sorry, we're on the wrong cameras there. I'm gonna actually show the end of this game on B. The end of this end, I should say, on B. Diane looking like she's trying to guard her shot rock, and this is not going to make it over the hog line, unfortunately. That was her first rock with the hammer. Jack Miller could now throw a hit, and if he can remove that red rock, he'll be likely sitting 4 and force Diane to draw for 1 against the potential for a very big end. That was indeed 4 for Team Zakin on sheet A.
It's because of the way they had the makeup because of that design that they can't actually do. We got double.
No, so Jack makes the hit, but dead jams it onto a rock in the back of the house, which leaves Diane sitting 1 and a chance to draw for 2 and tie the game. Tough break there. It wasn't the easiest hit in the world. The angles were just set up where it was hard to get to the nose, and if you hit it fairly thick, you were going to jam on the rock in the back.
Can you bring your team out one of these nights? Little dyke scrimmage?
Okay, big shot here again for Diane, who has a chance to tie the game. I think that happened in the 4th also, and she came up short on the draw. If I remember correctly, she had a chance for 2.
I
Got
believe
1.
so.
So a chance to get that back now.
Okay.
She can get her 2 and go into the final 2 ends tied up.
If you want to get in a scrimmage beforehand.
All right, shots away. Sweepers are on it. They're on off, and the Vice is happy with the line. It looks like that thing's sailing a bit. Now, will it die out here? That's the question. It's trying. Craig Steffen very excited about sweeping it out if he can, and does look like it'll travel just a couple inches too far. So it'll end up being 1 red. Once again, Diane does score the single, gets it back to be a 1-point game with 2 ends to play.
I know Brian already said he's good to go, so, you know, either way.
How's the sweater coming along?
Great. I'm up 4 in the 5th.
That is a positive sweater outcome.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep you up to date on the action here on C. It does look like right now. Alan is sitting 3 without the hammer, so if he manages to keep Joel in some danger, we'll definitely come back to look at the last rock of that end, last couple of rocks of the end. But for now, I'll focus on the other 2 games that are closer on the scoreboard. Actually, a nice shot there from Dave Esposito on sheet C, and just to cut out, removes 1 red rock and sits second after rolling behind a guard. So takes away a lot of the danger of a big steal, though Allen still is sitting 1. over on A so far. Mark Zakin here in the 7th. Up 2 has done a pretty good job of keeping red rocks out of the house. Team Leslie looking to draw in, looking to just slip by the guard. They crash on the front guard. Can they get this to roll in the house and be a counter? I don't think so. Looks like that's not quite biting. In the early portions of the 7th end on sheet B, Jack Miller's team has a rock hidden behind a corner guard, and is going to look to split the house, just play for sort of a simple deuce, and if they can get there too, they'll be in great shape coming home, up 3 in the 8th. Yeah, Mark made a great shot last end. That was a run back double for 4. Okay, Jack's lead. Brian Glatzel does manage to split the house. It goes deep, but it's way back there. Probably not going to be targeted by Diane anytime soon. Instead, she's looking to freeze on the counter in the front right. Allen, by the way, now sitting 2 again on sheet C.
This rock went a little bit deeper than he was hoping.
Yeah, it does leave a hit just to sit 1, or even a hit and roll, possibly even a hit and roll for a double that could get Joel both out of trouble and then suddenly turn things around, let him threaten a big end instead. We'll cut back to that house in a moment as Joel's shots away. Looks like it's going to hit on the outside of the rock instead, or just gets to nose. It is counting. Allen will have to deal with that. But it is wide open. Looks like it's all yellow on sheet A this end so far. They have a few guards out front, 2 rocks in the house, and no reds to be seen in the play, or in the house. There's 1 red rock way out there on the outside of the sheet. And Mark happy to have Ellie Bockley guard shot rock here. Now Nada calling for, may actually be calling for a run back. She's got the broom right on the counting rock in play. And there is a guard that pretty much has it entirely covered. Super's got off it quick. Looks like it's very narrow and actually crashing on the front guards, and may even have left another rock in the way of getting after shot rock. That's unfortunate. Hello there, Nigel.
Liam. Something like that.
So Kelly usually takes the color commentary role, but right now the color she's focused on appears to be an aquamarine or
a teal.
Teal. I was gonna go with teal. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll be conducting a poll later. What color is this sweater? Well, no one's being funny enough for me to come up with any clever things to say about them.
Oh, nothing. It's been just some serious curling out there, huh?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's
I agree, Scott Funston. Great shot, Mark, earlier. Sorry we didn't have the instant replay up and running for that one. I'll put it up now, just in case we get any more memorable moments we have to save. Things actually starting to shape up pretty well for Diane Muldowney here on sheet B. Looking to steal, is sitting 2. They are behind a corner guard, which leaves plenty of room for Jack to draw at the end. They're not going to be that easy to remove. I should actually check with the overhead to see if they're counting. Hard to say. I think she's at least 1, probably 2. It's close, but
I say 1.
yeah, I think
They're
definitely
close
1.
too.
Over on A, Nada Leslie getting ready to throw her first shot. There is still a chance here for a skips deuce because there's a lot of cards in play. She can get around 1, get right to the top 4 foot. Should be in pretty good shape. Warm room's starting to fill up just a little bit as we surprised actually we haven't seen more people yet. It is 20 of 9 and our draw is technically at 9 o'clock. Often starts a few minutes later than that, but first of all, not always, and secondly, you're not supposed to count on that. Does look like so. It ended up being 2 for Team Lineker on sheet C, so Joel's up 5 heading into the 7th, and based on the clock, they've already thrown this rock. They may or may not have gotten in on time to play 8, but I trust the skips to figure. I am the league chair. I'm saying the skips can. It's close enough that I'm not 100% sure. I'll let them decide whether they're playing 7 or 8 over there. Both other games were way ahead of time tonight.
Yeah.
Sheet C actually wasn't really playing particularly slowly. They just fell behind 2 games that were moving pretty quickly. All right, Diane's still sitting 2 after Jack peeled a guard. This one heading just a bit deep into the house. And is shot rock, but is wide open. I imagine Jack will be dealing with that and he's actually going to hit and try to roll. Nice thing here, the angles are set up that if he hits it thick, you might roll behind the 2 staggered reds where you can't, run them back to hit the yellow out. Hits it a little thinner, he may jam on his own yellow and count that way too. So he's got a lot of ways to make this shot. It's already away. Craig Steffen quickly throwing his rock. Sweepers are all over it really quickly. Sweeping pretty furiously here. They're going to get a piece. Will they hit it? Just ticked it. Now this could be trouble for Team Miller. This is Nada's final shot here on A. Looks like it's sailing deep and...
I think they may have been trying to tick that red rock just in front of the house a little bit.
And then roll it in off the front.
But,
fortunately, it looks like that was if I'm not mistaken, a steal of 2. Yeah, for Team Zakin, and quite a turnaround. It was 3-1 2 ends ago, and now it is 7-3 Zakin going to the 8th. Team Leslie will have the hammer, but needing 4 to tie here in the 8th. A tall order. We've seen it done before, though.
We just saw them give up 4. Maybe they can.
Yeah, you never know.
Take them back.
Well, we'll check in on that game as well. But right now, the best action seems to be on sheet B. We have a very close game developing here as we hit the 7th. Which we will be playing on next. So.
Yeah. So we're watching closely.
Another rock sailing just a bit deep here for Diane. The good news is she's sitting 3, maybe 4. Again, though, that shot rock is wide open. And if Jack can hit it on the... Well, as we go back to the overview, on the right side of the rock, there's just so many places to land that it's very likely if If you hit it and get any sort of rollover that way, you'll be sitting 1, and it'll be very difficult to remove your rock. That's not entirely true anymore, actually, because if you jam on your rock now, you may not be counting. I'm not sure. If you jam on your own yellow, it would be very close as to whether you're counting or not. But
yeah.
Yeah. Depends where you hit it and if you got any other roll.
Yeah.
So let's see. On A, we're still throwing through some rocks, and
Jack's shot is away. Supers are close, but
they're staying off it. I think it's actually on the far side. Now this could end up being a
close to
double.
nose.
No, right on the nose.
Yeah.
So if you're Diane, what would you like to do here? What do you think the
Let's see, this is your
final rock without the hammer? You're down 1 in the 7th end.
well, you hit this on the nose. They hit back, probably don't sit shot.
It'd be very close, yeah. You're likely right. I kind of like hitting in, well, I was gonna say I like hitting and rolling, maybe even rolling into the other yellow and making sure you're sitting 4 so Jack has to throw against 4. The only problem is you have that rock in the back 8 now, and that's something Jack can just draw down to or tap and get his 1. So maybe you hit and stick or hit and roll slightly towards that.
Yeah.
Force him to make a hit and stick or a tough draw. Don't give him a wide open hit. That would be perfect if you could make all the shots at least. Put a degree of difficulty on whatever shot he chooses to call. Shots away from Diane. Sweepers are off it.
It looks a bit wide.
If we can get a piece of that, it would be okay. And it is coming back now. This actually could end up being at least usable. Not so bad. It does leave an open hit. It guarantees, assuming one of those red rocks is second shot. It really, yeah, that looks like someone tapped the red as it was rolling out, but it doesn't matter that much. As long as they know it's not out counting the best yellow rock right now. Yeah, I mean, Jack's going to have to hit and stay. Nice soft weight hit's fine. He could draw if he wants to, but I think
it's one either way.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's likely to just play the hit here. Looks like we're shaking on sheet C. Just too much of a lead for Team Alward to overcome here as they got deeper into the 7th end. And that'll be a win for Team Lineker. Meanwhile, on sheet A, as they're coming back down to play the 8th, there are a couple of rocks in play for Team Leslie. They have one guard up and had a rock partially covered, but nice little hit from Carl Bockley removed the counting rock. And Nate is still looking to use that guard if possible. All right, Jack's final shot on the way here in the 7th end. Big shot here. If he was ever to not stick around on this one, we'd have a tie game or worse coming into the last one.
On it hard.
All the way. This is really
a bit.
diving. It may hold on. It holds on for shot. I think it's just, I'm almost positive it's just one yellow. And since they're not measuring, I'm assuming it's one yellow. All right, so that'll leave Jack up 2 with 1 end to play. So we've got a tight one here on sheet B. Cut back to the near houses. Finally, the warm room perking up a bit here as we get close to game time for the 9 o'clock draw.
I guess quarter of is the magic time.
Oh, yes. Larry already running out to get his broom. He's prepared.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see how Jack handles this up 2 without. What would you throw on your first rock up 2 without the hammer?
2 without. Throw it
Yeah.
in or through.
Ace N? Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, top 4 is probably best. You don't have such a big lead. You want to give them something to deal with. If you throw through and the other team plays very well, they're likely to get 2. So I think you'd prefer top 4, but yeah, through's certainly the best, second best option. If you don't want this sailing right to the back, like back 12
Like
is
this?
not a that is leaves a lot of room for the hammer team to score, but also works as a sort of a backer later on, so like get jammed on. So on sheet A, it looks like Native's team's starting to run out of rocks here, down 4. They do have one in the back 12, that is the counter right now, and they have a couple guards that could potentially be split on. But only 2 more rocks that are yet to be thrown.
Apparently, we're already over 30, right? Yeah.
And looks like Ellie Bockley's hit goes right through the hole, eliminates a rock. And that's pretty close. I'm sorry. They still had 3 more rocks left for Native's team by mistake. So, which would explain why they're not going to shake there, because they could get all 3 on and 2 on and then split on the last rock to get 4. Certainly possible. You're going to need a couple misses from Mark to do that, but
That's divisible by 3. That's because they have 3 sheets, right? Only a 4. No, it's got to be 4. Then so that never looked good. Yeah, so we just got to get.
okay. Diane did get a corner guard, maybe not exactly where she called for it, but certainly usable. And Brian Glatzel's second shot for Jack, a much better rock. A rock Diane's definitely have to deal with at some point, as it's just biting the top 4.
Right, looks like they're shaking on sheet A as Kathy Morley's rock hits but rolls out. So
Yeah, just kind of out of rocks at this point. There were technically 4 rocks in play, and 2 in play and 2 to be thrown, but it would be pretty much impossible to get one of them on. So nice come from behind win for Team Zakin there. After falling behind the midway point, they had that huge end in the 6th with Mark making an excellent shot on his last rock to take 4, and that turned the game around. All right, not a bad throw here by. I missed you through it. Well.
I think it was more a Fonum.
Yes. And actually taps those yellow rocks to make that. We've talked about this before. It makes a little wall there in the back 12.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for.
Those rocks are doing no good for Team Miller, even though they're his own rocks. They're only going to cause trouble, considering he has the lead. They serve as backing for Team Muldowney here with the red rocks. And a flash here from Team Miller's second, Dave Scholes, means that Diane can definitely set up a deuce now.
Where like, okay, we're not playing a game right now, but for at least teams, I'm just going to stand on the side and yell. And we've got to communicate while that's going on.
I just get mad and somebody goes by. Please tell me you have.
I don't. I'm sorry, but we'll be able to get it because it'll be on the stream and at archives. I just don't have it like right now for you as instant replay.
I mean, but you.
We streamed it. Yeah, we did not get it on the instant replay. We can.
Mark Zakin's here
Yes,
too.
it'll be. Mark Zakin will be able to see his
Like it's not like
his game-changing run back for 4.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
we
was
will be.
on
You will be
all-
able to see
the
it
three
once the
houses.
stream archives. You'll be able to.
Were you commenting on
Yes, we even changed the camera to the overhead just in time to catch that. Yes, you're gonna have a very nice, well-produced look at your shot. You're welcome.
We know how Mark is going to be spending the last half an hour before he goes to bed tonight,
Watching it
just
about 6 or 7 times.
just replaying it over and over again.
So Diane actually played a tap back there, and again used those yellow rocks in the back of the house. So she's sitting only one, but has a second rock in play. This is going to be a peel on the top red, which is Jack will be happy. The one thing I could say is, I shouldn't say that even. I mean, with all those rocks in the back, there's no telling how this end could play out. Jack will have chances probably to freeze if he gets in trouble, but there's also certainly the opportunity for red, for Team Muldowney to be counting a lot if rocks keep piling up in the back. A lot of results in play here early in the end. A lot of things could happen here. Those rocks in the back are going to cause a lot of trouble. This looks like it's heavy and sailing away from the play. Slow down enough to sit second shot though, and okay, that'll work. There's no double to worry about because it stayed higher than the other one, and if you play the double, you'd just jam the second red. So Jack's going right for the freeze. Is that what you'd call here, Kelly?
Sorry, I was very busy texting our teammate who's not here tonight, who said good luck and have fun. So.
Oh well, thank you, Eric.
Yes.
We appreciate it. Hope you're watching some action here. Maybe you're one of our 4 viewers. I should see our analytics.
He didn't make any indication that he was
okay.
watching, so I'm not sure what that means.
If we look at the more advanced analytics here, our peak concurrent viewers was 7. We had a huge audience at one point, but we've lost nearly half of it.
Yeah.
All right. It looks like they instead opted to play the hit, or that, or
hitting their own and rolling out.
Unfortunately, that is not. If you were going to remove one of the yellows, you want to get rid of the one that's backing the red. Diane is sitting 2, and if we look at the overhead again, can sit 3. And if you put a rock like, if you ever got to like the edge of the top 4 somewhere, I mean, freezing on the back ones wouldn't help Jack anymore. You'd have to deal with the top one, and that would really. Jack's gonna have some issues here because there's gonna be a lot of red rocks in play, and there. If I'm Diane, I want this to slow down, but to sit. That's actually not a bad place to sit. I mean, Jack's looking at giving up 3 right here if he doesn't make a nice shot somewhere, and that would be the ball game.
Oh, this isn't a ball game.
Well, that'd be the rock. That'd be the rocky game, as they say.
Yeah, I'm.
It's 1, 2, 3 hits you're out at the old rock game. Is that what they say? All right.
All right, sweepers are on this all the way. It looks like it's curling a bit. Looks like we're going to get rid of the
This
top
could be an
red.
unintentional double. Yep, that'll do it. I'm not sure that was it might have been the call. I shouldn't say that. But it looked like he was aiming for.
It looked like he was aiming for the second rock that he got out, but it
so
works.
that definitely cleans up the situation for Team Miller quite a bit. Diane looking for a freeze now to sit 2, and definitely a smart move if she wants to play for 3, because if you can freeze one, that rock won't be easy to get rid of, and
Looks like this one's gonna be a little
sweepers
bit
are all
light.
over it. They are really pounding this rock trying to get it there, and I think it's just going to come up short. Can they at least get a bite? No. That's an unfortunate miss. They really needed that one in the house, because now if Jack Miller can make this hit, what looked like it was going to be a big end for Team Muldowney could quickly turn into them starting to run out of rocks. Now there's always going to be some potential for a deuce because there'll be a freeze, or Diane could come around her guard. But at this point, it might have to be a skips deuce to But we'll see what happens here if Jack makes his shot or not.
We do have a lot riding on this shot. If it goes to an extra end, we'll be here with you through it since we won't be able to play on.
Yeah, it was impossible for us to play until this game goes off the ice. So that means you get commentary right till the final rock. I will keep this on for the late draw. I don't know if anyone will jump on to do any commentary. There are some people who enjoy doing commentary who'll be around, but all right, it looks like Jack's going to make contact, which is the important thing here. Oh, sorry, I had the wrong camera up. That doesn't help. Yeah, now you can see that the situation as it stands now has Diane looking at yellow sitting 3. Diane needs 2 to tie. Does have the hammer and 2 rocks remaining. A dead freeze here gives her an excellent chance at getting her 2. We can also see on, for fun, I'll go back here so you can see on sheet A we're setting up the running of the rocks. With our nipper just a little bit out of commission at the moment. We've been running rocks instead. We got our rock box. And that's how we'll be prepping our ice tonight. And
yeah, we had a flood the week after Christmas, so not sure how much the ice has changed from that versus it just being different from running rocks versus a nipper.
Rock of the final end, maybe not the final end. This is actually fairly close to being the freeze she needs. It's just not curling. Oh, look. A very nice effort. It did leave some room. If Jack can get to the outside of it, or even the nose would probably work with enough weight now. Needed that to curl up another 2 inches, and it would have been an excellent, excellent freeze. Let's cube zoom back out to the near house. So Jack Miller with a chance to put the game away here. Does have to make the hit. Has to get to. Can't get too far to the inside. We'll put it that way. He has to. Wants to be on the nose or to the outside of this rock. And we'll watch as Jack gets ready to throw this final rock.
I tried to injure him.
The sweepers are on it. And they're off.
They're letting it go the whole way. They're going to get a piece? Yes, they do. And that'll remove the rock. And that'll effectively end the game. Although, Diane is going to look here because you have backing for this red if you're going to split it on. Like, you can hit it pretty hard. Roll yours on. If it wasn't for that 3rd yellow rock, I think this would be a lot more makeable. Because if you had...
The warm room commentary seems to be coming out against the probability of this shot being made, but...
Again, I think a very difficult shot and under any circumstances, and that... I don't think it's possible to hit this in a way that your shooter does anything more than maybe catch a bite of the house, and that back yellow is fully in by several inches, so... even if you made the double end rolled on, or it would be very difficult. But Diane's going to give it a shot.
That's why we play the game.
No harm in trying, that's for sure.
I hope we have the replay ready just in case.
Oh, we do.
We
do. The replay is ready. Quick look at the overhead at what she's attempting to do here is split these 2 reds on to count. Probably going to require removing at least the yellow counter, the number 1 counter here on the top of the screen. Shots away. Sweepers are off. They're watching
it. Looks like it needs to curl a bit.
May catch a piece of it. It's just not. It may actually even roll into count 1. So Diane does get 1 point off that shot, but
unfortunately, it's not 2.
Not enough, and that'll make the final score Team Miller 6, Team Muldowney 5. A very exciting game. Nice game for us to watch for a couple hours as we prepare to play our own game at 9 o'clock. Going to turn off the mics for a bit. We don't know if anyone else will jump on, but I'll keep the broadcast on.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Kelly Jensen
Yeah.
Sembos here with Ed Simia, and we'll be out there.
We will be out there very momentarily. All right, we're going to leave this on the sort of six-house view where you can see everything that's going on the ice, and if someone comes by to do a little more production, then you'll get a little more of a close-up view of the action. All right, have a good night, everyone.
All right, this is Mark Zakin. We're on the Tuesday night Nutmeg. I don't know what we call our league anymore, but it's the A Division Tuesday night competitive league. That's it, Tuesday night competitive league. And we are in the first end. And I guess we're showing a double stream here because there was nobody announcing, but since I am, we'll change this a bit to show the far end of the houses. On sheet A, we have Michael Parker versus Sean. On sheet B, we have looks like Ed versus Mike Hope. And on sheet C, we have John Gibbons, looks like, against Robert Kwan. And so far, we have Sean trying to hit that red stone. There's a flash on sheet A. Sheet B, we have Ed looking to get rid of some dangerous stones in the front. And on sheet C, Kwan looks like he wants to tap up that red stone. He's asking Don Maliner to tap up that red stone. He's got a high corner guard, and I'm sure he'd like to tap that straight back or maybe a little to the right. Stone is on its way. That stone is curling a little bit and looks like it may crash on the guard. But they've got a lot of good sweepers on that team. They're not going to hold this one. It's crashing on the guard. Not terrible. I don't know who has the hammer, but that stone in the front is guarded. You take a look at it and see if it's biting. And we'll show you that it's not, so that really doesn't get much accomplished. Over on sheet A, Sean is looking to hit some of the red stones. There's two stones sitting 1-2. And I'm going to go over to see the chat. And it looks like right now we have just one watching now. So, but I am looking from the chat from, I guess, maybe earlier today, and it looks like Scott Funston said, "Great shot, Mark." So if he's referring to the shot I threw earlier tonight, the run back double to take 4, yeah, I really enjoyed that shot, and thank you, Scott, for watching it and commenting on it. So don't know who the one person is who's listening, but I'll probably be here just as long as till I finish my scotch, and as long as Rana lets me stay. I'm sure she's going to leave. Michael Parker still has one red stone in the front, and he's asking Brian Glatzel to run that up a bit. Looks like Parker is subbing for somebody because I don't recognize any of the Yaleys. He's got Brian Glatzel, he's got Elizabeth Falsetti, and he's got Kathy Morley. So I don't even know what team that is. And Sean has his normal crew, trying to figure out who that A team is. I guess it's Parker's team, but he has none of his regular players. So is that a forfeited game and he's just playing for fun? I don't know. Here on sheet C, we have here on sheet C we have looks like Robert Kwan is coming down, and his play is going to be to hit that yellow in the top. Over on sheet B, Larry Zolo is about to throw a yellow stone for Mike Hope. I think Hope is hoping to angle raise his yellow into that red. That's counting, or maybe just put it back and counting. Probably he'd be happy with just putting it back and counting. He doesn't need to take out the red one as long as he's counting after this yellow one gets down there. Anyway, Zolo's shot is on the way. Weight looks really good, maybe down a little bit. I'm not sure it's going to move much of anything, so it's probably just looking to tap. Kwan's redstone hit is going to crash, I think. Oh, no, it's going to get through. It's going to just hit that yellow on that corner and drive it out. Nice shot by Robert. Larry's shot came up light and accomplished not very much. And Ed looks like he's going to try and split the house, go behind the red stone on the right side. Over on sheet A, Sean's crashed the guard. On sheet B, Kelly's shot is being swept pretty vigorously, but it's not curling very much, and it's got a bit of weight. It looks like it'll settle back 8, maybe back 4. Back 4, but it's wide open. Hey, does anybody know what that team is that Michael Parker is skipping on A? There are no Yaleys over there. Is that a forfeited game that Parker has going on? He looks like he's picked up a ragtag group of people who are not on any of the same team.
I would say you were probably right. It's supposed to be his college team, and I think they're not here.
So they're just playing for fun then?
I mean, he has a team, and he would be an A, so he would be playing. So that is his team, but yes, that is not.
Yeah, everybody here in the warm room thinks that they agree with me that the Yaleys are not here, and
or as Mark would say, a ragtag team.
It is a ragtag team. Maybe an all-star. It could be an all-star team. That's another way of looking at it.
Ragtag out.
But Glatzel is on Jack's team. Kathy is on Nada's team.
Right.
I don't know what team Elizabeth's on, but not Parker's team.
No. Ragtagger. It's a ragtag. Oh. Oh, well. Those are milk chocolate.
Yeah, sure, if we're here.
Oh, we are. So join up, like, we'll do, like, Friday night dinner or something?
Yeah, whatever. Ice, whatever. My wife is asking me whether we will be helping out. We were going to be away, but apparently we're here for the Yale Bonspiel, so it looks like we're going to sign up to participate. And if you are all listening out there, all one of you, please sign up to help out at the Yale Bonspiel. I think it's the weekend after next. Or maybe, I don't know, the weekend after next, I suppose.
That's a lot of money. $1,000 on stupid TV.
So Ed is now sitting, it looks like 2 on B. Over on A, Parker looks like he's just trying to guard his shot rock, which is in the top, biting the top 8, and that's a good guard. And over on C, looks like there are some stones in the house, but they all belong to John Gibbons. I think it's only one. We'll take a look at it on the overhead. And
January 26th, do you want to commentate from 6:30 to 8:30?
I'm in Dallas. So there you can see there's just one that Gibbons has counting. And it looks like Baiko's going to try and run back that stone from the 2-guard area back into the house. That stone is pretty close to where I ran a stone back today earlier for a run back double. Took 4. Still thinking about that. Anyway, Baiko looking to run this stone back into the house. Over on B, Mike Hope is looking to get rid of that red, and he's accomplished that mission. But red is still sitting 1. Over on C, Baiko's stone is on the way, and looks like it's going to hit the red, but I don't think it's got enough weight to knock it into the house. And it doesn't. So it's going to come up pretty short. Over on A, Sean, shot is underway. It looks like Sean is looking to draw in with his first skip stone, and he's way short. They're not sweeping it. I think they're going to be content to let this hog if it does. And it looks like it does. So they've kicked that out of play. Over on B, Ed looks like he's going to try and draw in for a second counter. This is not the hammer, but I'm sure he'd like to put one, bury one behind those yellow guards. His shot's away. The sweepers are sweeping it pretty vigorously. Looks like Ed is actually trying to hit the yellow, and he's going to do that. They're going to have to sweep that to get it out. And it bites, but it's not counting. So Mike Hope, if he can get through the port and hit his yellow into that red, could sit 2, possibly 3 if his shooter wicks off the stone that's in the top there. Over on C, Gibbons tried to run some of the yellows up, and he did. So he's put another one in, and it's on the button. And that's going to sit 2. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. So Baiko has a shot left, and then Gibbons has a shot. But let's take a look at the far B house. This is a very interesting shot that Mike Hope has. So Mike could actually hit both of those yellows and hit the yellow into the red and take 3. So we're going to take a look at Mike Hope's delivery here. And then we're going to go back and look at Mike Hope's shot. So Hope about to deliver the stone. And here is the house. Sweepers are off. Sweepers are still off. Weight looks pretty good. Sweepers are on now. And this looks like it has a chance. Oh, and it doesn't get there. Hit too much of the red, and so red is going to steal 1 on sheet B. Over on sheet C. As you can see, Baiko is going to try and double out those yellows. Maybe there's a triple there, but I don't think the angle is quite right for a triple. He's not going to be counting anything after this shot. I think he's just hoping to get rid of 1, maybe get rid of 2, if he gets lucky. I don't know what else he has because that yellow is pretty buried. And over on A, Sean Main is going to just try and draw in. Baiko's shot is on the way. Looks a little wide, actually. They're not sweeping it yet. My experience, rocks have been running pretty straight, not coming back very much. This one's coming back in a little bit, and it's enough to knock it out. So he does cut them down to 1 for the moment. We'll take a look over at Sean's about to throw his shot on I don't know where the far houses are now. The far house camera has disappeared. Oh, maybe this is it. So there's Sean's shot on sheet C. Their sweepers are on it pretty hard. Nigel's come out. They've just got to outcount that red, and they're biting the 8. And it looks like it's just going to get there. Nice sweeping. Nigel gives the high sign. Heidi gives the high sign. And it looks like Sean has taken 1. And over on sheet C, John Gibbons has a draw or a tap up to take 2, possibly 3 if he gets the if he can get a wick. So let's see if he gets the wick here. If he can wick in, the sweepers are on it. I think that's light, and they've come up. I don't know why, because they probably should stay on it. Oh, I was wrong. This one seems to be sailing a little. It's got plenty of weight. It's going to settle, and Gibbons is going to take 2 if that stays, and it does. So Gibbons takes 2. Nice shot by Gibbons, and Gibbons asking if he took the 2, and I'm acknowledging that he did. So Gibbons takes 2, and we will take a look now at the near houses. So on the scoreboard, we have John Gibbons against Baiko Kwan. Gibbons up 2-0 on sheet C. Over on B, we have Ed up 1 with the red stones. And over on A, we have Sean up 1 with the yellow stones. So that's where we are right now, and I will take a break to enjoy my scotch.
Is that where the Russians when we lived here? When I first came here. Oh, that's how long ago they must have slept with my first one. And I would still drive all the way over.
I will say this, my scotch is quite outstanding. And let's see if we can see where the action is now. Quick update. Over on A, Michael Parker is sitting 1 with the hammer. Looks like he's calling to split the house. He wants something in the top 12, which is an excellent call if he can get it. Over on B, Mike Hope is looking for this yellow stone to draw in and stay, and it is going to stay, but our ice is not very swingy right now, so that is exposed a little bit, and Ed's going to try and hit it. And over on C, Brian Tully is coming down for John Gibbons' rink, and it looks like Gibbons maybe was trying to freeze to or hit this red. I think freeze to it, or maybe draw in, but either way, it's short. It's a stone that maybe they can use later for some purpose, but right now it's sort of a semi-guard on Robert Kwan's red stone. Over on B, the attempt to hit this yellow or come down to it comes up a little light, crashes into the yellows and puts Mike Hope another yellow stone in and guarded. So Hope is sitting 2 and probably looking to guard that stone in the back or maybe just draw into the top 4. Over on C, as you can see, yellow stone coming into play there. I'm sorry, red stone coming into play on C. That crashed, but opened up a shot on this red on the back, which I'm pretty confident Gibbons is going to want to hit right now. So he is calling for Lee Cocky to hit that. Over on B, Mike Hope, I think, was trying to maybe put one in, top 12. This one is going to be a little short, but I'm sure he's happy with that because that will be a guard on his shot stone on the back, and he's putting up the signal that he likes it. And then over on A, it looks like Michael Parker is looking for a hit on a stone that Sean has in the top 12. And he's going to get the hit and a nice roll. Very nice. That looks like that's going to roll behind those guards. So pretty good shot there. I think Sean thinks he can see a little bit of it. It's a very tricky shot through the port. There's a yellow guard, a red guard, and it's inside out hit. So that's a difficult shot. He's got Mike McCarthy to do it. Mike McCarthy does like hits, and he's going to give that a go. So we'll check that out in a moment. In the meantime, Don Malner is trying to do what Don Malner normally does on sheet C, which is to run a red rock back into a yellow rock, and I think he's got this. Yellow, red into yellow, and he does. So the red knocks out the yellow, plus it slides over to be a corner guard. That's a dual-purpose shot, very effective. Over on A, Mike McCarthy's shot through the port is on its way. The sweepers are off. I think it's crashing on the yellow. It does. Crashes on the yellow, crashes on the red. So opens it up a bit to try and get to that rock later. Maybe. Looks like it's still pretty buried. And Michael Parker is looking to put another one in. Over on C, Lee Cocky is trying to draw down to this red in the back 8. And it's got to curl and it's got to go. So sweepers are off, but they should be on. They're back on, but I think they've realized it's not getting there, so they've come off. And they're going to leave it up high and possibly use it later, but I don't think they're going to get to use it later because I suspect with a good hitter like Malner, Kwan is just going to go right after it. He may leave it alone, though. No, he's going to leave it alone and just draw in. Sometimes that's the best play, not helping your the other team by... no, he's changed his mind. He's changed his mind. It looks like he's going to go for the hit. I was surprised with Malner that he wasn't going to hit, but he is. And this stone is staying out, so it's not likely to jam. It's kind of down weight, and it may actually just drive that yellow up, which would be an unusual shot for Don Malner. And Gibbons is coming up to sweep it, and he's going to sweep it in. And so Malner threw very down weight there, promoted Gibbons' stone up to the top 8. It's not shot, but it was a nice bonus there. And Gibbons, I think, with the hammer, without the hammer, is looking to just guard that stone and maybe just concede the 1, make it more difficult for Kwan to take 2. Over on A, Michael Parker's red stone is still sitting shot, buried. And over on B, looks like Mike Hope still has 2 stones in, and he's looking to get Larry Zolo to maybe hit the inside of this red stone in the top 12 and roll a 3rd yellow stone in. Larry's throwing very nice weight here. If he gets the angle, this is going to be a really good shot. And he looks like he is going to get the angle. Angle's good. Didn't hit quite enough of it, but still a very good shot. Rolled a 3rd counter in behind guards and rolled that red out to the side. So Mike Hope's sitting 4. He's sitting 3. I don't think the yellow one in the top. Let's see if that yellow one in the top is counting. Let's see. So near B. We'll go to the near B camera. It's not counting, but it's still 3. And Ed looks like he's going to try and hit that yellow stone, maybe take a double here. It's an easier shot for Ed because he's left-handed, so it's on his side of the sheet. And Ed, of course, is pretty accurate and can throw good weight. So this has a chance of being a successful shot. Certainly I would expect Ed to get one of them, and maybe both of them. So Ed's shot is underway. He's come out big weight. Sweepers are off. They're on it now. They're on it pretty hard, so maybe Ed's worried about over-curling. And it looks like it might be on a guard, and it is. So it is on a guard. It opens things up a bit for the next shot, but Gibbons is still hitting 3. Over on sheet A, a Yellowstone just got wicked in to be a second, sit second, and open up the shot rock that Michael Parker has sitting in the top 8. So I suspect he's going to try and guard that, or maybe tap it back or draw another one in. And over on sheet C, looks like John Corelli, Gibbons wants to maybe tap that yellow back. He's going to try and tap that yellow back to maybe tap back into his own yellow. Maybe angle raise into the red on the corner that's sitting shot. There's a lot of possibilities here with this stone. Gibbons has the broom on the outside left corner, but he's asking for an in-turn hit. So he's looking to kind of hit this right on the corner, I think, and get to that red. And I think John's thrown a little bit too much weight to get the curl that he's looking for. Oh, he's got the curl. I don't know if he's going to get it. No, he's just going to run it straight back. Yeah. Are we staying? All right. Looks like I've been given the go-ahead to be on air for another scotch and 20 more minutes of TV time. So if you're still listening, you can listen to the dulcet tones of Mark Zakin for another 20 minutes. I've been given special dispensation by you-know-who. So quick check to see who, if anybody's listening. And we have 2 watching now. I'm pretty excited. I've doubled my listeners. So thank you to my two member audience. Very exciting. Over on sheet B, it looks like Mike Hope. I missed what he tried to do in my excitement of getting another scotch. But it looks like Mike, if he tried to guard, missed it, maybe hogged it, or it overcurled to be in the top. And Ed has another open shot. Over on A, it looks like Michael Parker has a second counter in. His guard went into the house, and so Sean is going to try and run that out, maybe run out the double and sit 2. So Sean Stone is on the way. Sweepers are on. He's going to hit it and jam. So Sean gets the hit and jam, cuts Parker down to 1. Parker still has a stone, though. And over on B, Ed gets 1, but runs the other one in. And Mike Hope is now sitting 2. Pretty buried. And he may be trying to run a third one in, or maybe he should just guard that one.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Nada. So Nada just brought me a scotch. Very nice. Very appreciative. We had a pretty close game against Nada's rink today. They were beating us until I made a run back double for 4, and that changed the game entirely. I can't wait to get home and watch that on replay because I don't throw too many shots like that. That was really quite a shot. Anyway, back to the action. We have Michael Parker, and I think he's looking to take out this yellow at the top, which is always a dangerous shot. Always afraid of the jam. Always afraid that you can spill out and leave the shot rock unguarded. A bold play by Michael Parker here. I don't really love this shot. I might have just guarded here. But Parker's pretty confident with his hits, and he's missed it. He ran into his own, and he's shot rock behind the Yellowstone, but he's left the run back for Sean. And if Sean runs that yellow back into the red, he's going to sit 3. I think it's his hammer. He's going to take 3. So I'm sure Sean likes these shots. Over on B, Mike Hope threw another one in. He had the hammer. He took 3. And they're kicking away the stones. Great shot by Mike Hope, and he's up 3-1 on sheet B against Ed. Over on A, Sean is lining up his hammer. My wife has now said 5 minutes. You said 15 before. I'm holding you to it, darling. So over on A, Sean's going to try run back. It's not the hammer because Sean is up by 1. So Parker has the hammer, but Sean is going to try and sit 3. And over on C, John Gibbons is going to try to get to this red. No, he's going to try and run back the red on an angle double up, and he hit the red, but he didn't angle it back. So Quan is still sitting. Quan Baiko is still sitting 1. Sean Stone is just missed. It hit the yellow, but not flush. Drove it back into the house to sit second shot. And Parker now has a shot for, let's see, Parker is red. Parker has a shot for 2. Oh, he's looking at a run back on the red that's behind 2 yellows to take 2, and that's just a crazy shot. I think he's not going to really make that shot. Kathy Morley looks like she's insisting that they put the broom down to draw in. I think for Parker to take 2, he's going to have to wick off or draw around his own red. And Craig Steffen is now in the booth. So welcome to Craig Steffen in the booth. I've called some games with Craig in the past, and we've had some good times. So looking forward to Craig getting the headset on and going here. Craig will be calling solo, I think.
Nutmeg.
And welcome to Craig Steffen. So how'd you guys do today?
We won.
Nice.
Jack made some nice takeouts in the last couple ends.
So
I seem to have recovered from my takeout drought on Sunday morning where I missed 5 in a row, much to your pleasure, I'm sure.
Well, it wasn't a pretty game. We all missed a lot of shots.
Yeah, right. I was saying that actually. I was glad
Parker's
I was
draw. Hold on one second, Craig. Parker's draw on A is a little light.
Short.
They're sweeping it like madmen, all 4 of them, but it's not going to get there. Parker's just going to take 1. That's a tie ball game over on A. And over on C, Gibbons is looking to run his yellow back and see if he can sit shot, and Baiko still has a shot. So yes, we had an interesting game on Sunday morning.
It was kind of who could back up the quickest.
It was the 4th event final of the Golden Handle, but it looked more like Sunday morning collection plate curling, as it was Jack and Craig and Kathy Morley and Nada against my Tuesday night not always very competitive team. And
I'm telling.
And we were not terribly competitive, but
because we both sucked, it was a close game.
It was.
And don't tell Jack I said that.
Oh, he knows.
He knows.
Jack actually calculated the statistics. This could run a red in, but no, not enough juice. Jack actually calculated statistics from me versus him.
Yeah.
And he had him at 26% and me at 36%. Neither of which is sending us to the Olympics.
Given that, I don't even want to think about what I was, because I know I missed more shots than Jack, which it was not pretty.
Nobody made very many shots.
Although
actually,
the last 2 ends, I steadied the ship a little bit.
Yeah, actually the game-winning shots were thrown by Rana. With a spectacular draw in the 7th.
Although I thought I had the draw of the game in the 8th that was going to win it for us, and you guys chipped it out. You did a run back.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh.
I don't remember you ever counting in the 8th.
I'm sorry. That was the game against Gallegos. It was my earlier game, and I buried a beautiful draw behind 2 guards, and they did a double run back takeout.
Well, the game against Gallegos had to have been your best game, because they're a tremendous team.
Yes, it was probably our best game.
So we are staying here on sheet C. We're just going to stay on sheet C as
the super house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stones in play.
The sheet C game has fallen considerably behind the other 2 games. There are about 5 or 6 stones in play on B in the third end. There are a few stones in play on A, and we are still waiting.
Beautiful takeout on sheet B, though. He just missed the guard and knocked one red out and moved the other red back.
Well, you're not going to see anything on B until we get through this last stone on
sheet C.
On sheet C. So Dave Bykowski looks like he's going to try and hit something that is going to nudge that red up to be a second counter. It looks
so he's
like
yellow into red.
He looks like he's going to try and hit that yellow.
It's interesting he's going for that one, but he's doing, well, the other one's.
So we're going to look at the near C house here.
Yeah, why not shoot at the one that's a little bit, narrow line?
So the line looks pretty good. Sweepers are on it. It's hanging. Once they swept it, it went out a little bit, but they're staying on it. I don't know if this is going to be good.
It's gonna just chip and jam.
Yeah. As soon as they swept it, it went out quite a bit. So.
One yellow? No, one red.
We're gonna switch to the.
Sheet B far.
I don't think I'm on the right.
No, you want far B.
That's what I want, far B?
Far B, and then quick play on it. Yeah.
Whoops.
There we go.
And what is the setup here on far B? We have
actually,
Kelly in the house.
Yeah, and they just did another takeout, so.
Kelly's in the house with a red rock?
Yes.
Ed is down 3-1, and Ed is looking to... Ed's sitting shot with the red rock, somewhat buried in the top 12, and looking to put a second counter in. Craig, you'll be excited to know we have 2 listeners at the moment. When I started, we had 1.
Oh, cool. We had a great tournament this weekend. The Golden Handle is a good tournament. It's a new format we started a couple of years ago, and I think people really enjoy it. You're guaranteed 4 games. You know when you're playing on Friday and Saturday.
I got to say the party on Saturday night where Jeff recreated New Year's Eve was better than the New Year's Eve that I spent this year. So very excited about the terrific job Jack did.
I spent New Year's Eve with a friend of ours. So it was 4 of us playing board games. So
nice.
It was pretty laid back.
What board games were you playing?
I don't even remember the names, but they're little puzzle games.
Oh, nice.
And
so we're going to take a look at the far houses.
Yeah.
All 3 of them. You can see that over on sheet A, Michael Parker is sitting 1 with Mike McCarthy. Looks like he's throwing a hit. Over on sheet B, it looks like Mike Hope is trying to draw in. Sweepers are on it. I don't think that's going to curl.
Yeah, it's going to be counting, but it's going to be visible.
So I'm still trying to figure out what's going on on sheet A. Michael Parker has nobody. Thank you, Joel. It's a ragtag team.
The rag is it a legal game? Is it counting?
It doesn't look to me to be a legal team. It's got Brian from your team, Kathy Morley from Nada's team, Elizabeth Falsetti. I don't know what team she's on.
Brian Glatzel?
Yeah, Brian Glatzel is from your team.
Yeah.
Kathy Morley's from Nada's team. Elizabeth Falsetti, I think, might be from Alan Alward's team.
Well, you know what it is all the college kids are gone. They haven't come back yet. They don't start till next week.
Yeah. So
I understand this problem, or this wonderful opportunity to.
So I guess Michael Parker wanted to play, and he put together a bunch of subs, and Sean said, let's play, but that's got to be a forfeited game, right?
I believe so. Got to have 2. Now, it isn't. No, it's not. I was going to say isn't Michael Parker substituting for somebody else?
Yeah, you tell me which of those 2 people are on the same team.
Right, and you're right. It's a hodgepodge.
So over on C, Don Malner looks like he's drawing down to that yellow. He's past the guard. That's a nice shot, and he's going to hit that yellow.
Bump, and he's going to be
He's going to
counting.
move it. I don't know if he's going to be counting.
Do the overhead C, far C. It's over here.
I don't think he's counting. No,
Yellow's counting.
Yellow's
Yeah,
still
okay.
counting. And guarded.
So it actually didn't work.
No.
But the yellow, I think, could be chipped out. They could go wide and chip the yellow out. But right now, they're just going to... Well, the yellow's throwing, so he'll be splitting the house here.
On B, it looks like Ed is sitting 2. So Mike Hope's going to want to do something to that. You think he's trying to chip that red out on that broom?
Yes.
He looks like he's and Zolo is gesturing that the roll should go into that pocket. Or is he thinking maybe they should just draw down into that pocket?
Yeah, I mean, the red stone is only in the top 12. But is red counting 2 right now, or is red counting 1?
Oh, red's 2.
Okay. So sitting in the pocket is not a bad thing.
Looks like
And,
Quan wants...
Red does have the hammer. So that would go against sitting in the pocket.
Quan is looking for Malner to hit this Yellowstone on the back, and he's got that pretty easily.
Oh, he's nosed it. He's going to hit and stick.
Yep. It looks like Mike Hope is drawing down to that red on the
he's drawing into the pocket.
On the 12.
They need to go hard if they're going to get to the pocket. It's dying on them. Sweepers are pounding away.
Well, you got Kubi pounding, which is pretty good.
Which will move it.
And he got it there.
Yes,
Very nice sweep.
Yeah.
That shot is all Jim Kubi. So if Mary, I know you love listening to me. If you're watching, kudos to your husband there. Oh, I just got the tap from my wife. My scotch is not done, and I still have 5 minutes.
He's still got...
I got scotch, and I got 5 minutes, darling.
I'm driving.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn the reins over to the lovely and talented Craig Steffen.
Let's just go talented.
All right, Craiger. Have a good time.
Thank you.
All right, Jack, we got issues.
All right. Sheet A is tied up 1-1 after 2 ends. Sheet B is, I can't tell because Mike Hope's head is in the way, but red has 1 and yellow, I don't know. I think they have 3, maybe 2. And on sheet C, it's 2-1 with yellow in the lead. Bykowski's going for the takeout, but actually just moved the yellow over. So yellow is now counting 2 on sheet C. Sheet B, they were trying to put it into the pocket, but unfortunately came up short. They just guarded the yellow stone. It curled enough that they can still get down to it. All right, on sheet C, John Gibbons is lining up for the he's going to put the guard up to guard his counting stone on the 4 foot. Let's take a look at this from above. You see the broom there coming inside away from the center line. Going to put it right in front of the yellow stone that's biting the 4 foot. That's the plan anyway. Sweepers are on it gently. They're letting it slow down. It's looking like a good shot. Got to curl a little bit. All right, so it's not curling. Oh, you know what? It's obvious that they were actually throwing the draw underneath, and they got the draw, but it did not hide. Good night. Wow, the warm room is clearing out. Diane, you want to come commentate some? It's fun to do. So Robert Kwan is talking with his vice Bykowski, and they're trying to decide whether they can chip that yellow stone out. It's you can see all of it from the hack, I believe. So the question is, which way do they want to roll? They'd like to hit and roll underneath the red guards, or looking at the broom, my guess is with Robert Kwan throwing, they're actually going for the in-off double, and he has a chance here for the in-off triple. It's a tough shot. The stone that they're aiming for to hit first would have to chip the yellow out and go straight backwards, and chip the yellow out on the left of the 4-foot out to the left, and then and the thrown stone would come across and hit the stone that's currently biting the 4-foot. So Robert Kwan for a triple here. Bykowski lines the broom up. Robert's going to be putting a little weight on this so it has enough energy to move the 120 plus pounds of granite. The stone's on its way. It's moving nicely. He's got to just catch the outside edge. And I think he may, boom, boom, boom. And there it is. Then there it is, the triple. Yeah. So that's why Robert is known as the takeout king. Yes, that was beautiful, and all the yellow stones are gone. and now his counterpart is in the house, Gibson, and Corelli's down getting ready to throw, and he's calling for the takeout and hit and roll on the stone that's sitting in a full 4-foot. He wants to hit and then bury the stone. It's a little bit light. Actually, he may be calling the freeze, but
I'm going to increase your viewership by 50% when I get home.
All right. Well, you just missed a beautiful triple by Kwan.
That was incredible.
I'll watch it on replay.
Yes, you should. Okay, so unfortunately, it's followed by a missed freeze and a little bit. It may have been just trying to tap it back there, and he went a little bit wide and missed the stone on the 4-foot. Well, let's check out the other sheets here. Ed Simia is in the house throwing the hammer, and he is red, and it looks like he's counting 2 yellow. So Ed is trying to come down and sit on the yellow to the right, or he's just drawing in. He may just be drawing in. I got to figure out which way the curl is going. No, it is curling. It is curling out to the yellow ones. Oh, actually, I take it back. He's throwing the tap, and he's got the tap, and it looks like a beautiful shot, and he got 1 red. It's a very nicely done tap shot by Ed. So back over on sheet C, Bykowski is throwing. Robert Kwan is down in the house. Robert is actually the skip, but he doesn't throw. Bykowski throws the last 2 stones. And Bykowski is trying to draw any. I think all he has to do is he's got 1 stone left, so he's putting up a guard on the counting one on the 4-foot, and he comes just into the house, which is fine. A counting guard. Okay, so after 3 ends, it's now 3-1 on sheet. 3-2 on sheet B, and Ed Simia has 2. And on sheet A, it is 2-1 after 3. And let's see here. Michael Parker is red, and yes, Michael Parker is up 2-1. Okay, let's watch him come out of the hack here on sheet A. C. I'm sorry, on sheet C. Here, C. Gibson coming out of the hack. he's got a bit of a pickle here. He's staring down 3 reds. He does have the hammer, so he wants to get this underneath and froze, or looks like I thought he was going to go down and bump the red that's counting out, but he just chips the guard. He gets another little tick on the other guard. Not a terrible shot because it leaves he can bump that up. However, it is wide open, and Robert will just immediately set up and call for the takeout, I think. No, he's talking about it. So he's thinking about either taking it out or guarding his shot. And it looks like they're settling on the guard. They're counting 2 right now, maybe 3. I'd have to. Well, let's take a better look at that. Far C. Yeah, it's counting 2 reds. So he's going to actually protect the closer red. He's perfectly happy to. Well, he wants to get 2 here because he is down 1 right now. So let's watch him come out of the house. All right, so sheet at C, the stone's on his way. Decent looking delivery. And we'll switch over here to the overhead view. And again, he's putting the guard up to protect his stone on the forefoot. It actually looks like it's a little bit toasty, but it's coming in nicely. Now that's fine. It's going to be in the top 8. They're going to go for the freeze. They're going to go for the freeze. It was a little faster than they thought. And that's fine. I mean, it does leave the. They can double that out. I mean, this is the hammer, so he's just going to hit and roll off the counting stone and have a decent chance of getting his 1. After this shot, we'll switch to the view towards the warm room. Everybody will be coming home towards the warm room.
Oh, okay. I recognize the last name.
So they're coming down and talking about this a little bit. They're trying to decide where to hit the stone. Because if he comes in too much, he could end up spilling out, and red could end up getting 3. So it's a delicate shot. He needs to hit this on the nose and move both red stones. If he hits it on the nose and doesn't and jams, if he comes across the face a little bit and jams, then he'll end up giving up 1. So he has the best shot actually comes just to the left of the nose, just a little bit closer to the broom. So given what little broom he's giving it, he's going to be throwing this up weight. Stone's on its way. And well, he's going to hit it for sure, but he may actually be a little bit narrow. No, it's looking good. Boom, boom. Oh, don't curl too. Oh, they should be sweeping that. Oh, so he actually did hit a little bit narrow. And so I think it may be 2 red. Yeah, it may be 2 red. I think it is. No, it's not. It's not. I take that back. It's 1 yellow. 1 yellow? Sometimes the overhead camera lies. So it was 1 red. So a steal of 1. Just coasted a little bit. He hit a little bit thin, a little bit too far inside. Okay, let's switch. There, we're looking at the warm room. Give a wave. So over on sheet B, Ed Simia appears to be guarding his one counting stone in the 4 foot. It came up, I believe, I'm guessing it came up a little short. They probably wanted that a little closer, but it's a high guard. Makes it a little bit harder to get that stone on the 4 foot. And yellow has the hammer, so Ed's trying to steal on sheet B. So yeah, he definitely wanted that a little closer. Mike Hope's coming out, checking out the situation. And he's got the hammer, so he's looking to clean up the mess up front there and get rid of the guards. Over on sheet A, Michael Parker calling for the takeout on the front yellow stone. He's just actually probably going for the double. He has a 1 point lead, but he does not have hammer. Oh, and it's a nice double. Oh, it's going to jam, though. Yeah, a little unfortunate on the jam off in the corner. But it's way out in the wings. So yellow's got the dreaded outside biters. 3 12-foot biters, which, if everything goes normally for Michael Parker, shouldn't matter, but sometimes they can be rather annoying. I think it's safe to say that the blank for red is no longer a possibility. So Ed Simia counting 1 right now, and he's calling for a counter out in front of his own, guarding his stone and making it very hard to chip it out. So he wants to come down the center line and put it in the top 8. Right in line with his own stone. Stone's on its way. They're sweeping hard. Here they come. And this is looking like a good stone. It's going to come up a little short, but it will do some good guard work. Make it harder to get in there and chip that red stone out. Mike Henneberry and coming in on sheet C, trying to chip out the red, and they do it very nicely done. Very nicely done peel on the red counter. It would have been nice to have that stone stay around, but they definitely were more concerned with making sure they get the takeout, and they did. Sheet B. Mike Hope tried to come in and chip the red out, but ended up taking out a guard, which Ed Simia will now put back. On sheet A, Michael Parker is throwing his first skip stone without hammer. He's trying to do a hit and roll off the stone on the outside. He's definitely got the hit, but he's going to spill out a little bit to he went a little bit wide. Did get rid of the one of the annoying biters. Sean Main immediately shows wants to draw in underneath the red guard. So we actually have 3 good games going tonight. All 3 games within 1 stone right now. So no blowouts. Ed Simia delivering his first stone without the hammer on sheet B. Skip is down low in the house, watching the line real close. And it's going to come up a little bit short, but they're still going to do some guard work, assuming they get it across the hog line, and they're working, and they do. Okay. So sometimes the line is more important than exactly where it is up, along the sheet. And it's doing some good guard work there. Robert Kwan over on sheet C, contemplating the situation, trying to figure out, he's going to just do a straight take on the open visible yellow. He does not have the hammer, so my guess is he wants a little bit of a roll. This stone is very hot and a little bit wide. It's going to get the take, gets the peel. Over on sheet A, they just sweep it into the top 8 foot with Sean Stone. So yellow is counting 3 again. Let's take a look at near A. Let's see here. There's near A. You see that there's 2 yellow stones for sure counting, and the third one I believe is also a biter. So good situation there developing for yellow. Back over on near C, stone is coming into the house, and yellow will be counting 2. So John is sweeping his own stone in. He wants to put those 2 stones parallel to each other on opposite sides of the center line, so they're harder to double out. They actually can be doubled. You see him pointing with the broom there, and he's calling for the in-off double. He wants to hit the stone that the broom is near, closer to the center line, so off the, not on the nose, but on the inside of the stone, and it will then, the shooter will then travel across the sheet and take out the other stone. It's a pretty much a perfect example of an in-off double. We saw Robert Kwan just a little bit ago do a beautiful triple, which also was an in-off double with one of the stones that he hit, taking out a third stone. So we'll see if he can pull it off again here. Robert is one of our better curlers for sure, and he certainly loves his takeouts. So Ed Simia is actually throwing his last stone without the hammer, so I'm going to switch over to the full view. We can see all 3 shots coming down the sheet. Robert Kwan's is on the way. Ed will be delivering soon. And I think, oh, look at that. In, off, and almost got the double, but he's beautifully buried behind the guard.
There he goes again.
Yeah, I know. It's a joy watching Robert throw those shots. Okay, and here comes Ed Simia trying to draw in, but he just chipped up the guard, and he was trying to place a guard anyway, so it ends up doing good guard work. He's got his 1 counter on the 4 foot, very well protected. They might be able to get down to it, but it would be tough to get rid of it. Okay. So over on sheet A, I missed the last shot there, so I'm going to have to look and see. It's on the recording, but I wasn't watching. So I'll have to wait and see what the devices do for the score. So on sheet C, we now have a red stone nicely buried and a yellow stone, and I believe the yellow stone is counting. Let's take a look at that from above. Yeah, it's yellow by about 1 inch or so. But the yellow is very exposed, and Robert's calling to take it out. So Robert just loves his in-off doubles, and he's actually calling to take out the stone and slide over and just bump into the other one. He doesn't need to get rid of the other yellow stone, he just needs to sit on it. And the fact is, just getting rid of the yellow and sliding underneath that front red guard would be a perfectly acceptable result.
Yeah, roll a little bit behind the guard slightly. That could set up a double.
Who scored over there on sheet A? Do we know yet?
Red is throwing, so red must have...
Okay, so...
No, there's already a yellow there, so...
Oh, no, it looks like yellow got...
Yellow must have gotten...
3.
4-2.
Okay, yeah, so it's 4-2. Yellow picked up 3 stones. So, still a close game. Here's the takeout on sheet C.
Impeccable.
And it was, you got rid of the yellow stone and left a nice split house. And Gibson is trying to draw down to the red stone here. Just bump it back and be counting. More important to kind of get underneath the front guard and make it hard to get rid of the stone. And the weight looks about right, but it's going to be visible. It's not going to hide it. He may end up counting, which he does, but he's exposed. Okay. So perfect weight, but a little bit wide.
Well, you make Malner draw. He's got a problem. But you can't give him the drum.
So Bykowski goes down to get ready to throw a stone. Robert Kwan's in the house, and he is showing a straight take. He wants to come and nose this. If he comes just across the nose, that would be perfect. Spit the counting stone out and bury his red underneath the other red guard. So on sheet B, I don't think they put the fourth in up yet. Bykowski's shot is on its way. They're sweeping it pretty hard to hold the curl. Only one sweeper sweeping hard. So they're trying to fight the curl, and I think for good reason. I think they might just chip the guard, and they do. Yes, they chipped the guard. It was a little bit narrow, and so a rare miss there. So Gibson will quickly try to capitalize on that and will most likely put a guard up out in front. Or he could hit his yellow into the red. And I don't know about that, though, because he's got jam possibilities, and I don't know if he wants to mess with that counter. But he is looking at it. He's looking at the yellow into the red, which would shoot the yellow or the red out the back and leave him with a split house if he doesn't, he doesn't want to hit it real hard. He would just end up with two counters. So it looks like he's playing the split to be counting two. Let's see here. And unfortunately, we're out of sync with the games. Two teams are going towards or away from the warm room, and one team is coming towards the warm room. We'll stay with this game here. It's in the latest part of this end. You can see a lot of discussion going on here. They're really trying to figure out whether it's worth going for the split. The score is tied. It's fairly early. What's that?
If he does it just right, he can hit the yellow into the red.
Yeah.
Split over behind the other red. And
yeah. And be counting too. Fairly,
with a big margin between.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Robert is not. Robert's already done his doubles and triples.
Yeah. And they're still thinking, and thinking, and thinking. It is the late draw, so there really is no clock. It's just a matter of how long they want to go. Yeah. In a competitive bond spiel, they would be calling a timeout here to bring the whole team together to discuss the shot, but they really have decided to, okay, let's go watch something else here while they're talking and talking. Here's a takeout of a couple guards over here on sheet B, and I actually got rid of one guard but bumped the other guard up. May have left a counter here. Let's take a look at far B, and it is not in. It is not in. With the overhead camera, I can see that there's plenty of white. Sometimes the camera can lie, but I think this one is definitely out. All right, and they're still talking on sheet C. So we'll just watch the other sheets here for a little bit. There's
taking a lot of ice.
Yeah, with that much ice, well, he may still be trying that shot. So they've decided. So we'll watch him come out of the hack and then switch over to the. Well, I was thinking that Diane and I are going back and forth, so you can't hear Diane on the mic, but that's okay. They may have decided finally to just go with a straightforward guard on the yellow counting stone, um, which is not a terrible shot. Um, but they spent a lot of time discussing the more technically difficult and delicate split. Oh, actually, what they're doing is they're taking the red out. So after all that discussion, they went for the straight take, and they've got contact. Oh, but he's a little bit wide and it spilled out. Now this, of course, then will leave a pretty much wide open takeout for Bykowski. So he'll immediately answer with that. But
that was not a good choice.
Yeah, yeah, because it. Well, if they hit it on the nose, they'd be sitting two, and they would have that same shot for possibly three if they didn't guard it nicely, or if they missed. So yeah, as expected, Bykowski is in the house, and Kwon has got the broom set for a nose hit or slightly across the face. That's what he wants, to chip it out and bury his red one. Stone's on its way. The sweepers are calmly walking along. Okay, now we got little sweeping to hold the curl. And now we're coming into the house. Actually, they need to let this curl. This may not. Yeah, now they're sweeping to get it to curl, and this is going to jam, but it's going to spill out. And we are counting one red. But actually, yellow is 2 and 3. So if they can chip the red out, then yellow could get a big end here, and get 3. So that was actually that did not work out well. They swept a little bit too much, and didn't get the roll they wanted. Okay, so we're gonna check out sheet A here. We got a takeout on its way, trying to take out the yellow, biting the 8-foot, but they're gonna chip the guard. So they chip the guard, and the stone is going to squiggle out off to the right side and probably touch the side of the sheet, and it is gone. So it is my guess we're getting. They got a few stones to go. So this is the skip stones are just starting, but they could end up with a blank on there. A nice takeout, nice double on sheet B, and is he going to be able to sweep it out? Nope. All right, almost got the double. Left one in the back 8. Let's take a look at this far B. Let's see who's counting. Yellow is counting in the back, and red is number 2, and then yellow's got a biter in the front 12-foot on the far left side of the sheet. So Mike Hope immediately puts the broom down for the takeout. Should be pretty straightforward. We'll stay with this until he's get this shot on its way. Here it comes. The sweepers are pounding on it pretty hard. They think that it's going to be a little narrow. So here it comes. So now they've got it. They've got the take for sure, and a little roll, and beautiful shot because it guards the back yellow, and yellow is counting 3 with one of them deeply and nicely guarded. So yellow's mounting a nice offense here. Ed Simia's team immediately looking to clean up that situation. Okay, and on sheet C, I'm sorry, I'm going to show real quick here. There are. He got the shot and got rid of the red, and yellow scores 3. So that was a pretty good series there, and it was basically a just missed shot by Bykowski that set up that big end for Gibson, and so he goes up now. Yellow will be, let's see here, 5. And red will be 2. It's still fairly early on. It was only the 4th in. They're playing a little slow with all the talking. But lots of ins left. These are 2 pretty good teams. A 3-point lead is going to be work for Robert and Bykowski to overcome, but it's certainly doable. Whoops, I'm going to have to switch over here real quick. Okay, let's switch to the far end houses. Sorry about that. I missed that shot. Over on sheet C, a nice double takeout is on its way. Got the front one, just nibbled the second one. So it wasn't, ended up peeling the front guard, which is useful. Come on over, Jack.
No, I'm getting ready to go.
Okay.
My father used to call them the standing up goodbyes. Oh. Because we'd be at the relatives and we'd start, my mother would say, okay, well, it's time to start going. So everybody starts standing up and talking and moving to the door. And you talk some more and you move a little slower to the door. So Dad always figured at least a half an hour for the standing up goodbyes.
All right, a little gentle takeout on sheet B, but that ended up just chipping it into the 4 foot, so it didn't have enough oomph to get the job done.
I do not understand these 30-minute goodbyes. If I'm going to be here for another half an hour, I'm going to sit down. I'll have another drink. I'm going to watch the football game, whatever. Well, I must admit it.
So on sheet C, it looks like they're going to go for the tap, and they get the tap, but it's a little bit hot. So Robert's going to gently sweep it out the back.
Sometimes it takes a while to hurt us back to the house. Well, that I can get. But the other side of that is you get the kids ready.
Okay, so on sheet B, it's all tied up now, 3-3 after 4 ends.
And that's when the kids start, and then they start getting upset with
Ed Simia throwing the last skip stone without the hammer, and he's counting 1, so he's trying to protect his steel by putting a guard up right on the center line here, and it's looking pretty good as long as it's got enough weight. They're sweeping it hard to bring it across to the center line. They want this to go just across the center line. It looks like it's going to do. It looks like it'll be doing enough guard work, but there might be a port through there. Mike Hope is looking at it, trying to decide whether he can sneak one in between those two and chip Ed Simia off the 4 foot. Over on sheet C, see he's lining up for the takeout of the biter, the red biter in the 12 foot on the left. Looks like it's, oh, did I take that back? Yeah, that is what he's going for. Because it's going pretty quick, and he's going to just tick it. Oh, it just missed. Just missed. Oh. Didn't get enough curl. Or it might have been a little bit too much broom. It's interesting. It could be too much broom or too much weight. It's a delicate balance. So Robert Quan immediately calls the draw one in underneath that guard that they just tried to chip out. Stone's on its way. The sweepers are just kind of massaging it a little bit of sweep against the curl, just one sweeper. And they could actually play the bump here. Actually, they're just guarding the biter. They just decided to go ahead and bite it. At first, I thought they might be trying to draw around, but I'm not sure if that's the called shot, but it does some good. Leaves the biter there, and it's nicely guarded. And on sheet B, the yellow stone slides out, and the red stone is gone. So I think that ended up, it ended up 2 yellows, but I'm not for sure. Yep, the score goes up immediately, and indeed it was 2 yellows. So a nice shot to chip Ed out there. There was enough room to get in there. So Mike Hope takes a 2-stone lead, up 5-3 on sheet B after 5 ends. So we still have the game's opened up a little bit here, but still everybody who's behind still has a reasonable chance of coming back. 2-point leads on A and B and a 3-point lead on sheet C. But okay, let's again, we're out of sync, so it's hard to decide which we'll stay with the end that's actually they're farther behind. End that's deeper into their particular end. The team that's deeper into their end. Over here on sheet C.
See you next week.
So we got a takeout here on sheet C. Pretty straightforward. He wants to hit and roll underneath his own guard. And the stone is on its way, but they're sweeping really hard early, so they must think it's a little bit narrow. They may think it's going to... Oh, now it's coming across nicely. And we're going to get contact. We're going to go the other way, but that's fine, actually. It's nicely buried. Red does have the handle, so they would have preferred that to roll the other way, but they'll take a nicely buried middle of the 8-foot stone. Robert and Bykowski looking down there, and they're deciding whether or not they got enough room to come in behind the center line guard and get in behind it, or whether they'll have to come down and sit on the other one. Looks like they're calling for the draw in behind. Actually, it looks like, I take that back, I think they're going to try to hit and roll off that counting Yellowstone. So they're going to throw a down weight take, come into the house, curling to the left, hit the Yellowstone out and right, and then slide up underneath their yellow guard. Up, of course, or under the yellow guard. It's not their guard, it's the other guy's guard, but it's a guard. So sheet C, takeout is on its way. Robert doing what Robert loves to do, which is remove stones from the house, but he's a little bit narrow, so I think they may be on the guard. They're sweeping hard to hold the curl. I can't see the line real well here. And yes, he's on the guard. Okay, and he scoots off to the right side of the sheet, bumps the Yellowstone in. So that still is. Let's take a look at far C from the overhead camera. It's hard to tell, but yellow certainly count one with the stone in the 8-foot. But between the two red and yellow biters, I can't tell which one's counting. So once again, we have a little bit of a discussion going on. Let's watch Ed Simia's takeout here. He's trying to remove both of these yellow stones. He's looking to hit the front one just off the nose. He's going to get the peel. Okay, so that's a fine result because they'll be forced to put that guard back. Mike Hope immediately calls for that shot. Puts the broom out in front of the house, in front of his Yellowstone. Wants it to be biting but guarding. Okay, now let's go back to the far C. This is the call is to draw in underneath the guards, I believe. Stone's on its way. And it's curling nicely. It looks like he's going to come down and freeze on that, which unfortunately may leave dump. Okay, that's good. He bumped it underneath the red guards, but he's still he's quite visible, so they can now Robert Kwan can come back and hit and roll off that exposed yellow stone. Don't know whether they can get both of them. it's possible that he could come in and hit right between the two Yellowstones and hit the Yellowstone, which is in the 4-foot first, and then have a real good chance of getting rid of both of them. Bye, Jack.
See you Tuesday, I guess.
Yes. So over on sheet A, yellow is now up 5-2. In the fifth in, yellow gets 1. Okay, so Robert Kwan's trotting down the ice. Again, it is my guess that he's actually going to try to hit and roll off the yellow underneath the front yellow guard, given the broom. To watch and see which handle he puts on the stone. Let's watch Robert come out of the hack here. You can also see the developing houses on sheet B and sheet A, which we will switch over to as they come down to the Skips Rocks. Robert's shot is on its way. And we'll switch over to the house and see if he pulls this off. The sweepers are on it really hard, I believe, to hold the curl. Oh, yeah, he's going to get the hit, but will he? Yes, it's just going to nose it. Okay. Okay, let's go over to near A. Stone coming in right now, with yellow counting 1 and very nicely guarded. And the red is going to chip the guard out. So Michael Parker trying to get rid of that one. Sean Main starts looking at the situation. He's counting 1. He's going to put the guard back up to protect his 4-foot biter. So John Gibson again having a long discussion, but they looks like they've decided on the hit. So we'll go ahead and watch that shot here. Weiss has got the broom just to the left of the red stone from the thrower's perspective, and he's going to try to send the red stone out slightly to the left and then bury his yellow stone up underneath the guard. So this is Gibson's first shot without the hammer. So we'll go here and watch him come out of the house, or out of the hack. He's on his way. Switch back to watch the shot come in. Again, he's trying to take out the red with spiting the 4-foot. Sweeping pretty hard. He's going to get the take, and it's going to just sit, though, which is not a bad shot, because now if red takes the yellow out, the yellow behind the guards will still be counting. Now he does leave the possibility of a double. He slices the front yellow off to the left, but he might lose the shooter if he puts enough energy into it. Let's go watch sheet A and B here. They're coming down towards the end of their ends. Oh, Mike Hope is going down. He's right now trying to figure out what he wants to do. It appears that he's going to, he's counting 2 yellow, maybe 3. Let's take a look here. Near B from above. I just can't tell on the back one. It's possible that that's a biter. I can see white all the way across, but that doesn't mean that it isn't a biter. Let's see here, near A. All right, let's go back to near B and watch this shot here, Mike Hope's. again, he's going to be guarding his counter in the back 8, but I believe it's, yeah, let's see here. Oops. Yep, he was narrow. He chopped the first one out, and yellow's counting 2, one of which is nicely guarded. So that's interesting. Robert's in a little trouble here. I would say he's in a lot of trouble. Okay, on near B, got the guard coming in nicely. It's going to be a little bit high, but it's doing its job. I think they can go outside of it and pick it out. They can get rid of that yellow stone. Yeah. Okay, so over on sheet A, we have the hammer's first throw. So Michael Parker's looking at the takeout. Oops. Sheet A, sorry about that. That's near A right there. So, given that broom, it appears he's trying to run the high guard back and get the double. So this is a pretty gutsy shot. That's a long ways to move a stone and get it online. And he's going to get the peel, which is okay. Had a lot of weight on that. They had fun catching it. Okay, we're now going to switch quickly back over here to near B. Redstone's coming in, and he was trying to draw through the port, and it comes up way short and barely makes it across the hog line. So that was, I think Joel Lineker would say, disaster. So that was unfortunate there.
Well, as we know, that it's a little slow out there.
Yeah. Okay, over here on sheet C, Gibson is throwing his last stone without the hammer, but he's counting 2 right now, so he's just trying to guard this up, or, yeah, that's what he's trying to do. He's got a real chance here. He's going to force Robert or Bykowski to make a nice draw just to escape with 1. So this game is getting a little bit dicey for Robert. It's starting to curl now. They want to leave this out in front, but it actually looks like that stone picked. Yeah, it picked on the ice. It picked up a piece of junk on the ice and turned left. So that was a little unfortunate there. He was just trying to put up a high guard, and unfortunately the stone took a left turn. Every once in a while that happens. Although we don't show it enough, when you watch people coming out of the hacks, as they get into the hacks, they'll often turn the stones on their sides and clean them off. But every once in a while it'll still pick up a piece of fluff from somebody's clothes or shoes. And unfortunately, a good stone can be turned pretty poor in a hurry by a little bit of gunk on the ice. Okay, near B, got a stone coming in here. They're trying to draw one through the port, and this is not the hammer, but it's a nice stone, and it adds to the guards up front. Okay, so we're going to go to the hammer here on sheet C. Bykowski in the house. He is going for the double. He's on his way. All right, it's all a question of whether he can get the right line or not. He wants to hit the yellow on the right side. If he can chip this out, red could score 3 because there's a red biter, and he's going to flash. Oh my. Well, that was a huge miss. That may be the game right there, because it's now 7-2, I believe. Yeah. So with the level that these two teams are normally capable of playing, that might it certainly puts Gibson in the driver's seat. Over here on sheet B, yellow is counting 3. Ed Simia is throwing. I believe he's actually got the hammer. Okay, and Ed is on his way, and he's trying to shoot the gun. He's going to hit his 2 red stones on the left side there and try to shoot the one into the 8-foot. He's really just trying to bring them down here. They're sweeping really hard. I don't know if he's got. Oh, he was going for the other. He's going for the other run back, and he's going to come up a bit short. Wow. So, yeah, the games that were pretty close for the first 4 ends are now starting to open up a bit. I believe yellow got 3 there, so yellow's going to take a big lead on sheet B. So Mike Hope will have a big lead over Ed Simia. 5, 6, 7. He'll be 8-3. Okay, let's
Robert's got to figure out a way to start getting points.
yes. Switch to the look at the far houses, and we'll watch this for a little bit as the game on sheet C, which is running a bit late, develops. They're about a half an in behind, if not more. So as you can see from this view, all 4 games were pretty close after 4, but now we're starting to spread out a bit. They haven't put up the 3 spot on B yet. So B is now 8-3, C is 7-2, and A is 5-2. Okay. So on A, that's Mike Hope with 5 and Michael Parker with 2. On B, oh, I just said that wrong. It's Sean Main with 5 and Michael Parker with 2. On B, Ed Simia has 3 and Mike Hope has 7. And on C, Gibson has 7 and Robert Kwan has 2. So Robert has to put up a big end this end to have a chance at coming back here. He really needs to score at least 3. And he's throwing put up a couple guards. He's got 2 corner guards now. Let's take a quick look at that. Here you can see that he has 2 corner guards out high, but there's 2 counting yellow stones already. And calling for another guard, or a guard out in front of those 2 counting yellows. And actually thinking, no, okay, with the lead he's got, he's going to go ahead and start cleaning out the red guards, and so he actually sets the broom down to get rid of the closer guard to the center line. Let's go back to the other view. Well, let's wait and see if he makes this takeout here. And he's got it. He's got the peel. switch back to the other view. The other two houses going the other way. Other two games going towards the far houses. A beautiful draw on sheet B. Ed Simia's team is going to be a little bit heavy though. So both Ed and Mike Hope sweeping that. Mike Hope, Ed was sweeping to bury it under the yellow guard. Mike Hope was sweeping it to get it farther behind the tee line. And Mike looking at probably to try to draw down to that stone. But it's a touchy draw, but it's there. Stone's on its way. It actually he's going for the bump, and he's going to get a little tap, and he may get rid of it. That's a very nice shot, picking the red stone out and leaving him counting 3. Ed doesn't take long. He immediately calls to draw underneath the front yellow guard, basically replacing the stone that Mike just chipped out. So if yellow scores on sheet A or B, you're definitely likely to have some shaking going on. Blink. Well, it was actually a very nice takeout on Robert's stone on sheet B. Sorry you couldn't see it because I'm looking at the other ones. The teams, as I said before, they're a little bit out of sync. There's two games going away from the warm room and one game towards the warm room. So we'll take a look at near C here and see what Robert and Bykowski are discussing. They are counting 1 and 2. They have a nice 7-2 lead. So they may actually be they're going to draw underneath their 2 counting stones and just continue putting pressure on. Far A, we got a bomb of a takeout going in, and it ends up peeling and sending the stone all the way over to Ed Simia on sheet B, who definitely catches it with his toe and pushes it back where it belongs. So Ed Simia calling for back of the house weight, looking to, I believe with that broom, he's going to try to run the yellow back into the other yellow and take control of the center of the ice in front of the house. We seem to have a little bit of a problem with the hack over on sheet C. The hack may have come a little bit loose in its mooring in the ice, and they're wiggling it around and trying to figure it out. All right, so Ed Simia's shot comes up a little bit short, a little bit light. Mike Hope's looking at the situation. He certainly is counting 1. He may be counting 2. I think let's take a look at far B. Let's look from above. Certainly he's counting 1 right by his broom, top of his broom handle. The next one, I think he may be counting 2 in the back there. So he's calling for the takeout to chip the red stone out. But he's coming in a little bit narrow, and he hits the front red and gets the peel. All right, so if we take a look at far C here. Oh, you can't actually see, so we'll have to go to this view. You can see there, oh, they've decided that whatever was wrong is okay. And Mike Bykowski's in the house. Robert Kwan is in the hacks. And he's indicating to draw underneath the 2 yellow stones. Let's go back over and watch Kelly's shot coming down on sheet B. She's trying to hit the front red stone into the yellow stone. Should be counting. Well, I thought that's what she was doing, but this looks more like draw weight. It's going to just chip the yellow. Got 2 reds in the top 12 and the top 8. But yellow is certainly counting 1 and maybe counting number 2. I'm sorry. Yellow's counting 1, red is 2, and then, yellow maybe 3. Okay. Got a takeout here on sheet A, coming in and crisply removing the stone and spilling out, so a nice peel. Probably would have wanted to stay around over there on the left side underneath the guards, but he got the peel. And Mike Hope in the house with his first shot without the hammer, trying to protect his 7-3 lead. Gibson over on sheet C, just continuing to remove red stones, trying to get rid of the guard out front. So we'll, okay, and on sheet B, got a takeout coming in. And he's trying to get rid of both of the red stones, but he's going to chip the front yellow guard, so that was a bit of a mistake. Possibly opening up an opportunity for Ed to mount a comeback. All right, so Gibson cleanly gets his cleaning out the red guard there. We missed it because I was staying on the sheet B shot. Over on sheet A, stone's on its way. Nigel standing stoically in the house, waiting for it to come down, and it's a little bit light. And I don't know what happened there. I actually wonder if that pick, judging from the reaction of the sweepers, they were not happy with it. So Michael Parker's got his first shot. I'm sorry. Yeah, it looks like his first shot with hammer. All right. Near C, Redstone coming into the house. Robert Kwan trying to bury one here to try to mount some kind of a comeback. Puts a nice weight right down to the T-line on the edge of the button, but alas, it's wide open. It's quite visible, so this will not take them long. Well, I hope it doesn't take them long. They will decide to take this stone out. Okay, let's go back over here to far B. We'll see Mike Hope and his vice discussing the situation. Ed Simi has now got 2 stones in the house. Actually mounting a bit of a comeback, but they are wide open, so Mike is going to certainly try to cut them down here. Question is whether he can get rid of both of them, or whether he should just hit and stick on one, or try to angle freeze underneath the other one. Judging from the broom, they're just going to go for certainly the one takeout. They do have a yellow stone in the back of the house, so there are some jam possibilities. I have to admit, I'm not sure why they aren't looking at the in-off double here. They just hit the other stone on the inside of it, and they should be able to get rid of both of those red stones. Okay, so here comes the nice takeout by Gibson on sheet C there. I got to it just in time. He's just removing red rocks. All right, now we'll switch back over to the far houses because both skips are coming down the ice, Sean Main and Mike Hope. So we'll stay on this view. We'll be able to see both of these shots. It is the hammer on. Oh, nope, sorry. It is not the hammer. So it's the last skip shot without the hammer. So that is Sean Main. And he's calling for a draw underneath all those guards on the left side of the sheet. And then on sheet B, we have Mike Hope going to get rid of Ed Simia's stone. And it looks like he's just going to try to get rid of one of them, although I don't know how much it's curling on sheet B earlier. This would be a lot of broom if he was going for the stone to the right of the center line, and about right to hit the center stone. So it looks like he's just going to take the one stone out and try to squiggle underneath Ed's other stone. That's my guess on the call. Sweepers are on it really hard, so they think it's over curling. And he's going to get the hit and no jam. So one of Ed's stones disappears, but Ed can have, I believe he's going to have an open draw for 2 here. Yeah. So over on sheet B, I'm sorry, sheet A, you see that Sean Main's stone is now the counting stone, number 1 of 2 yellow counters, I believe. Let's take, now I can't look at this from overhead. We don't have an overhead camera on sheet A. But it looks like yellow is counting 2, but Michael Parker is going to be able to come down and bump that yellow stone out with his last throw. So, okay, over on sheet C, straightforward takeout. So Gibson continues controlling the end. On sheet B, Ed Simia's draw is on its way. He's looking to just actually bump the back red one. He just wants to sit on it and push it out. That's all he needs to do to get his 2. He's using the backing and lots of sweeping going on. And a little tick. And he gets it. So 2 red on sheet B, and Ed Simia mounting a little bit of a comeback, and it's now 7-5 after 7 in. So Ed Simia down 2 without the hammer. So certainly Mike Hope is in the driver's seat, but Ed is a very good skip with some great players on his team, and so this game is definitely not over. Okay, over on sheet A, they're kicking stones. I'm sure it was, I know it's 1 yellow. And let's see if they hang up their spurs or whether they'll bring the stones home.
Kicked everyone out, Jane. Unruly patrons. Must have had early class.
All right. Red takes 1 on sheet C, and Robert Quam decides that's not enough. It's 7-3, and they are shaking. Okay. So that's a wrap on sheet C.
No one played 6 hands?
What's that?
No one played 6 hands on C?
No, they just finished this. They just finished the 6th. Yeah, they just finished the 6th in.
Okay.
But they was down 7-3. So.
We've got people starting the 8th end over here at B.
Well, yeah, and they're starting. Yeah, sheet C was playing very slow.
Oh, okay.
I'm not for sure why they're playing on sheet A. I thought yellow only got 1. I thought yellow got 1, and they would be up. Yeah, they're up 7-2. So I think there's a little practice going. Oh, actually, sheet A, I believe Michael Parker's team is an unofficial game because they had some students on his team that were out of town. So they're basically practicing. In other words, the game has already been won by Sean Main's team. So they're just bringing the stones home. All right, so take a look here. You see Robert Kwan's team doing a little post-game discussion. Ed Simia and Mike Hope actually have a game. Ed Simia does have to score 2 here. And Mike Hope, of course, just started out throwing stones through with I believe he threw it through. Yes, looks like he did. Well, that was interesting. I do have Robert's gorgeous triple, which was, oh my God, what a shot. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it was, and then he got it in off double coming this way. Yeah. He didn't get rid of the second stone, but he moved it, and he was counting 2. But, good game, guys. All right, over here on sheet B, you can see Mike Hope trying to draw in underneath the red guards, and Mike Hope has a 2-stone lead, so he really wants to play a clean, open game, and actually he probably didn't want that guard. I'm sure he was trying to draw that into the top 4. So it actually breathes a little life into Ed Semia's chances of stealing 2. Ed immediately calling for the draw. He needs to put something in the top 8 or top 4 here, and set up the possibility of a stealing 2. So Robert Kwan's team having a little post-game discussion about their game, figure out what worked and what didn't. Ed Semia's shot coming in nicely, a little bit toasty, but it's slowing down, and Ed's going to like this. It's going to be trying to think about burying this, ends up right on the tee line, but buried behind the yellow guard. So it's getting interesting on sheet B. Mike Hope actually throwing to run his Yellowstone straight back and take Ed Semia's stone out, and he just missed. I think Mike should just start clobbering guards and opening it up so he can cut Ed down at the end. He doesn't want to leave Ed these guards to hide behind. Now Ed is looking to run back his one guard into the house. All right, but it looks like Ed is going for the simple draw underneath the yellow guard. Sean Main setting up for the double over on sheet A. So Ed's shot looks like he's actually just trying to draw in through right down the middle, and he's got the port, but he's a little toasty, but he's going to stay in play. It's going to be a nice shot. He's going to be counting too. A little bit deep, but that's fine. He's got lots of guards out front. So again, I think Mike Hope may immediately start setting up for he's going to do the run back double. He's going to try to hit his high guard into the red stones. It's an interesting shot. I think maybe just peeling the front red guard would be good. Just open it up, but Mike Hope in a little bit of trouble here again.
Yes, I'd absolutely agree with peeling the.
Yeah. So got.
You gotta hit something up.
Right, Mike should just be cleaning it up.
You can't nose it though.
Yeah, and Stone's on the way, and he is going to get the front red guard, which is actually good. Oh, he's going to bump oh, no, all right. So that does some good. It forces Ed to put that center line guard back, which should be a pretty quick call on Ed's part to protect his 2 that he's counting now. And he doesn't want it too close to the house. He'd like to have a guard actually out in front of the other guards right on the center line. You don't want it too close to make a double easier. And that appears to be what the call is. So Ed Semia's shot is on its way, drifting nicely across the hog line. It'll come into view any second now. There they are. It's going to over curl slightly, but it's definitely doing its job. Yeah, I don't think they can get through that gap. But Mike is looking at it, and he may actually be looking at doubling out those front yellow stones, or red stones, I'm sorry. Just open it up. He could pretty easily... Well, he's looking to see. He thinks he might actually be able to get a stone through there. And actually going for it, if you miss, you're definitely going to remove one or both of the red stones out front. So that appears to be the shot. He's going to try for the sneak through that very narrow port and get the takeouts on one or both of the red stones if he can. They're sweeping hard, trying to sneak it right through there. That's looking pretty good. It's going to chip the right guard. Okay. So that was an acceptable result because Ed will immediately have to put that guard back up. And it's a do or die with these guards for Ed now. If he misses one, then he's in a tough situation. And again, Ed does not have the hammer, so all Mike Hope has to do is leave himself a shot to take out one red stone at the end, or a simple draw to outcount Ed's red stones. This is a critical shot of this end so far if they don't put the guard up. Stone's on its way. The sweepers are just walking along. Now they're on it a little bit. So it looks like it's got plenty of weight to me. The question is whether it's going to over curl. No, it's looking quite good. It's going to be top of the house, just outside the house. Again, about a call it a 3 or a 2.5. There's a numbering system starting from at the red hog line. So you divide that into 3 equal sections, a 1, a 2, and a 3 guard coming towards the front of the house, and then the front red part of the circle is considered a 4. So Ed puts up the guard, and Mike Hope immediately calls to remove it, and he's going to try to run it back and take out one of the counting red stones. Shot's on its way. It's got plenty of weight. It's a bit narrow. It's going to probably peel the front guard. Boom. And there it goes. And Simia will have to put it back. So a little nail biting here at the end. And Ed immediately sets up the broom, calls for the guard. Yeah, this could come down to the last shot. So Ed's judging from the broom and looking what he's got here. He's definitely going to try to put that guard up in front of the house, just to the right of the center line to protect his 2 right now. So this is really who's going to blink first. All right, so let's watch Ed come out of the house. Shot's on its way. The sweepers are off it so far. Now they're getting it on it pretty hard. So they're just one sweeper fighting the curl now. Just one sweeper, just keeping it from curling too much. It's a little bit light, but it's gonna over curl slightly. It's right on the center line. It does leave open a draw down into the pocket. So this game here, Mike Hope could slam the door on Ed here if he puts one into that pocket. But it's a dicey shot. Not trivial to draw into. Got a lot of options. Put it in the top 4, biting the button. Top 4 would still leave Ed counting 2. So he really needs to come down and sit on the back red would be the perfect shot. Because then Ed would have a very difficult time removing him. Again, Mike does have the last shot. He's got the hammer. All right, Mike Hope's shot is on the way. We'll just leave this camera view up. Oh, they're sweeping really hard. They may be a little bit narrow. If he crashes on the guard, Ed Simia is in the driver's seat for sure. Oh, is he on the guard? Yes, he is. Okay, so he does open it up. Ed will have to put a guard back up. But this could, of course, we could end up with a tie, and on Tuesday night open league, that would mean an extra end. I think bonus curling is a real chance here now with that missed draw. Once again, Ed's got to put the guard up. So, yeah, we've had a lot of close shots here right at the end. And a good comeback by Ed Simia. Okay, let's watch Ed coming out of the house here. I mean, out of the hacks, throwing towards his house.
The new gripper on my sliding foot is so slippery that I couldn't get there. I had to go back to the old one. Somebody told me when you get new grippers, you have to.
All right, Ed's shot is on the way. It looks like it's plenty wide, and we're actually going to go to the overhead view of this, see where he ends up. He wants this to end up out right in front of the house, just to the left of the center line from the Vice's viewpoint. It's coming in nicely. It needs to curl a bit, though. It's got to curl. There it goes. It's starting to curl, but wow, I think this is going to leave open the hit. Yeah, I don't think it closed down the port enough, so Mike Hope is going to have an open take to win the game. Now, it's not trivial. It's not a huge port. But all he has to do is eliminate one stone. All right, so here's the match right here. It's tied up right now. If Mike Hope hits a guard or misses, then it's bonus curling. If he gets it through that fairly wide but still tight port, hits out either red stone, the game is over. So unfortunately, Ed's guard did not curl enough and left the possibility. So he's throwing, already got the broom down there, is obviously setting up for the takeout. Again, all he has to do is take out one of these guys. All right, Mike Hope's shot is on the way. The sweepers are, okay, they're sweeping hard. I think it's narrow. All right, the warm room thinks he's got it. It's coming through the gap. And he has got it, and Mike Hope wins. Yeah, it's very, very exciting game down to the end there. And that's it. So Mike Hope over Ed Simia with a good comeback by Ed Simia. He was sitting two for a long time in that game. But then, as can happen, you just barely miss a guard. That stone had been one stone closer to the center line. It would have done its job. But all right. That's it, and the stream is done.